Whoa. Whoa, I think I cut us off there. I'm sorry, but welcome. Welcome to Games Talk Live. We're going to be having a great time today. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff. And of course, we're going to be, even though it's really old news by now, Colt before the show is like, really, we're going to be talking about the showcase? Well, we haven't talked about it on this show. So yes, Colt, we are. And of course, everybody, the great Colt Eastwood is with us. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Well,
Welcome.
it's kind of quiet. Let me turn it up a little bit. Ooh, there we go. Saucy.
All
Yeah.
right. So
How are you?
I've been great, Colt. The question is, how have you been? What do you
Good. Just
what do you,
playing.
Yeah, go ahead. Play. Yeah, tell us what you're playing. Yeah, for sure. I won't talk over you. I swear. I swear.
Just playing.
I won't do it. I won't do it. Just go.
Don't you hate it when people do that? Just
Let me just say
playing
something.
games.
Yeah, just
okay,
go ahead.
There you go.
For real. For real.
Just playing games. I think it's cool. You know, just playing games that these publishers and platforms let me play games wherever I want, however I want. So I've been playing Stellar Blade on PC and on Steam, and it's been really, really cool.
You're gooning for the poonin'. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a good game. A game I didn't like it in the first hour or a couple hours. Like, I don't know if I want this, but yeah, it's just a good action game. So
yes,
yeah,
it's good. Hargeet, my man. I know you're fully recovered by now. I am. How are you doing?
Mostly,
How
yes.
are you doing? How are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I mean, the first, so after Sunday's fun, which, we hosted the showcase, whatever, I still had a whole day of Playday stuff. We didn't finish till like 10:30 at night.
That's right.
Filming, and so it was pretty grueling. But anyway, so going out there, yes, it's fun, but it is a lot of work, guys. It's, going to the events and capturing all the interviews and all that stuff. It's quite a bit of work. But it was worth it. It's so much fun. The showcases were good. But yeah, I've kind of fully recovered now. So, but yeah, hey, next year will be even more fun. So next year, hopefully, Colt, you can go.
I think next year, everybody will know what the hell they're doing to set that up. Hopefully.
Hopefully we'll have a different type of facility. I mean, we basically just put together what we could. We found out in April, and like, okay, the best we could do is what we were able to pull off there. It's everything that was useful was booked, so we just kind of had to do what we had to do. And last minute fun things that happened, they happened, and we just kind of got something done.
You guys did a great job, planning this out. There was little things here and there that could have been better, but
yeah.
But no, overall, the way it came together finally was such a great time. I said this on Cold Show. I guessed it on XNC this week, and I was just gushing about it at the time because I had just come back, that Sunday night. So Monday, I was still like in feeling that like positivity. That's what I took away from it overall, is this enormous like positive feeling from a community that actually gives a crap about games. We just celebrated that, and it was great to see. And we're going to get into the showcase and everything in a little bit, in a little while, but it was just really awesome. And I thought that just how the community rallied together and do something was a little embarrassing for Xbox, or Microsoft, I should say, for not having their own fan fest. But I have to give kudos. I did it on your show. I'm going to do it here. Aaron Greenberg, Jason Ronald. There were several other people from Xbox. Sorry if their names elude me, but they did not have to be there, and they were there. And I have a deeper respect for them to do that, because at that point, it's not about Xbox. It's about the community. And they were there to support just that. And they shook each and every person's hand there and talked to them for a little bit before we started that showcase. And I just thought that was above and beyond. They did not have to do that. So kudos to them, seriously.
No, definitely thanks to them.
It was great.
Coming out. It definitely helps. Yep.
Yeah, it was great. Other than that, I, like Colt, have been playing a little Stellar Blade on the PC. I played the demo on the PS5 last year, or whenever it came out. Last year. And I was like, you know what? I could wait for this, but the demo was good. It was fun. So I'm having a great time with that.
PC, yeah. There you go.
And
Yeah, I've been playing the game you hated,
oh
Forbidden
yeah,
West.
go ahead.
And
How you liking it?
yeah, I can take it for a bit, and then I'm like, okay,
Oh, here we
I
are.
need a break from this.
Such a PlayStation hater. No, I don't like the
I
game
mean,
that much
I
either.
love
I
the first
tried.
one. I don't know what it is about the second one. It just doesn't have the same feel. The first one, I couldn't put it down. I could not put it down. I just
Yeah.
wanted to keep playing and playing and playing. This
Same.
one, I'm like, I just don't feel it. I don't know what it is. There's just something about it. It just doesn't. I don't know. Whatever.
It's just
There's some
not
games that just pull you
good,
along.
bro.
Some just don't. I'm like,
Let's
eh.
be honest. It's just not very good. And I know there's people out there who are like, oh my God, it's my favorite game. It's like, there's better games out there. But seriously,
I'm looking forward to Expedition. I want to play that one next.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh,
I haven't played
Expedition
Expedition
33.
yet.
You haven't played it. That's right.
I haven't played that one. Yeah, I want to play
Yeah,
that.
bro.
But I think I probably should still do Metaphor beforehand because I think it's going to be less of a game than Expedition. Just because I hear Expedition is insanely good, right? So, but yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to get through Forbidden West. I've put in a couple of, a dozen hours.
Somebody said the channel here is not showing up as live. Huh.
Oh, really?
Oh, you probably still left it unlisted.
No. I made it public. It's public.
Let me check.
Yeah, I got it on public. That's weird.
Yeah, you don't have the little red.
Let me try to.
It says
change
live when you go into the. Yeah, it says live when you go in here.
I'm going to change it. Unlist, and then I'm going to go back to public. Just because I know this happened 2 weeks ago. I was like, why do we only have 20 people here? And it's bro. Okay, I'm an idiot, people. But no, this time it was on public, so weird, just very weird. Anyways, so you're just playing through Horizon, trying to get through that, right? And it's a slog, bro. It really is. I can't do it. I've tried. I've tried like four or five times.
Tried too.
I can't do it.
I couldn't. I was like Hargeet. I just played Horizon Zero Dawn nonstop until it's done. I put like 40 some hours into it, and yeah, I really loved it. And then this one, I don't know what it is. Unfortunately, I'm the same way with God of War Ragnarok. Like I played God of War 2018 nonstop until it was done. Really enjoyed it, and then I get Ragnarok, and I'm just like, I feel like it's just, I don't know what it is.
It's probably because it's more of the same. But
and they don't have a hook enough to like pull you in, right? And it's like the first one, it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I gotta know what's going on, right? And now it's like I already know what's going on. It's just man.
Yeah, I already know why the world is the way it is in Forbidden West. I don't know.
No, it is true. Let's talk a little bit about Summer Games Fest, I guess, because that's the first one we went to last week. Hargeet, I met you there at Summer Games Fest. Met a lot of people there. It was really cool. Going into that though, I didn't have high expectations. I don't know about you guys, but after last year's show, I was pretty much like, I don't know if I'm going to go to another one of these. It wasn't until you said, hey, I got an extra ticket. And I was like, hey, I got an extra body and I'll be there that day. So I'll go. So I went and I liked it. I thought it was a solid show. Started off really good, kind of puttered in the middle, brought it back up at the ending with the RE9 reveal finally, because they kind of teased it. But I'll go to you, Hargeet, because you were there. How did you feel about this? How did you feel about Summer Games Fest?
I thought it was better than last year. I gave last year as like a B-ish. I thought it was pretty good. But again, a lot of people look for big announcements, and they didn't have them last year. I think they did a better job this time. There were a lot of bigger games this time. And the beginning of it was just continuously really cool. Then, it had a lull. And then it kind of ended with a bang with RE9, being announced. That tease in the middle, that was pretty clever. A lot of people are like, "Oh, they're gonna talk." What? That's it? What? You're not gonna talk about it? What? And then it comes in at the end, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, that was a pretty good setup there." But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff right at the beginning. I thought it had good pacing at the beginning, and then it really kind of, for me at least, kind of sputtered a bit. It's like, okay, fair enough. The one that really, for me is more interesting than many. There's plenty of good ones. I don't want to take it away from anyone, but like, Project Century finally got like a name, which is the Yakuza in the like this 1930s or 20s, something like that, whatever it was. It was like maybe 1940s, but they kind of have like an older world Yakuza that got a name, Stranger Than Heaven, I think. So that was pretty cool to see that, and they've kind of changed things up a bit and see what that looks like. But there's so many games that were pretty cool that they showed at the beginning of that I thought it was a pretty good show.
Even
yeah.
a game I probably won't even play, Sonic Racing. I like how they took a dig at Nintendo. They were
At Nintendo, yeah.
showing that crossplay, cross platform, all that. It's got
There's a lot of Capcom stuff, right?
yeah,
R9,
yeah. Arc Raiders was there. Liza P's DLC, I believe. That was interesting.
Which I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping that easy mode is pretty good. So if it makes it like more fun to play, I'll probably check it out. I don't know if you guys played and finished that one or not, but I think you said it, Alphonse, that you kind of went through part of it and then didn't finish it.
Yeah, I didn't finish it. I got frustrated with it and put it down. But one day I may go back to it like I did with Sekiro, and I ended up beating that and loving it. So it just depends on my mood. Mortal Shell 2 they showed. A lot of people were excited about this. I did not play the first one. Did you? Any of you? No, I've never played the first one. So, what other? Code Vein 2 was shown. I don't know if you guys were a fan of Code Vein, but it looks interesting. It looks a little better than the other one. But aside from that, Resident Evil 9, Atomic Heart 2 was looking good. Atomic Heart 2, actually, I did not finish Atomic Heart either. I started that one, and I didn't like it for various reasons. Colt, did you finish that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It was kind of frustrating, but I liked it. It just, sometimes the enemies just kept coming at you over and over. They just spawn over and over, and you're like, you'd get really exhausted from combat. But it had some cool mechanics in it, and the second one just looks unbelievably great. I think they'll probably be looking at what lessons to learn, but that game did really well on Game Pass and on multiple platforms. So it's cool to see they're making a sequel. That was my game of Summer Games Fest. Everyone was gaga about Resident Evil 9, and I just thought Atomic Heart was like a nice breath of fresh air. We have lots of franchises that are on their 9th or 15th iteration. So, and I thought the Cube, which is something I might not play, it's more co-op and multiplayer focused, still looked really great. I might mess around with the Cube, but both look amazing.
Lego games came back. We got a couple of Lego games. One of them is like this multiplayer party.
Party
game. Yeah,
it looks pretty
cool, right? So, hopefully they're good.
What about Mouse PI for Hire? What about that one?
Oh yeah, that looks cool.
It's kind of got that old cartoon style.
Yeah, that was like that was revealed earlier. I don't know which show, but it was like a year or two ago. They
I remember that.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
On it.
Yeah.
So, really cool.
Onimusha looks really good too. Way of the Sword. I can't wait for that one.
I got to see the NDA presentation for that at the Play Days.
Are you still on NDA?
I think the NDA.
Can you say
is
that?
off,
okay.
But
I think
I'll have to validate. I think it was the 12th. I think the 12th is when we're allowed.
But you heard it. It looks
but
good.
I'll say I'll just keep it kind of vague. But what they showed was pretty good looking. It was pretty good. And then also I got to see RE9 also as part of that.
NDA. Nice. Yeah. I heard from somebody else. Not Hargy. I heard from somebody else. No, I'm not going to say anything, but it sounds good. What's up? Hey, shout out to Wagerman in the chat. Wagerman, Alex Wagerman. Wagerman was there. He was part of the initial crew setting up for a community watch party, and Alex did a great job. Alex provided so many snacks. Like, there was so much water and like energy drinks and snacks left over. It was insane. We were just begging people, take more. But I don't know what you did all that with that, Wagerman, but that was a lot. There was a lot left over. A lot. We got to do that. Wu-Tang. There was Wu-Tang, Rise of the Deceiver, or Wu-Tang Clan, as
Wu-Tang
coalition.
Clan.
They ain't nothing to
Yeah.
mess with, right?
Yeah.
So we finally saw
originally
that.
an Xbox. Yeah, originally an Xbox publishing game, an Xbox global publishing game. Xbox must have dropped it at one point, but I thought it was dead, but here it is. I don't know if it's something I would play, but I always thought it was weird when I was pitching it to people. Like, there's this Wu-Tang Clan, Wu-Tang Clan claim. Yeah, I never could say it.
And then
There's a Wu-Tang Clan game. That's the tongue twister. Wu-Tang Clan game. Yeah, that's
Wu-Tang
what you have
Clan
to say.
game. Yeah. Yeah.
I always thought it was a weird pitch to people. Like, here, that is this something you'd be excited about? A 4-player game? Is it gonna be like Ninja Turtles? What's it gonna be like? I have no idea. You know, because it's melee based, and I don't know. But we saw it, and I don't even remember really what it looked like, other than being kind of cartoony. But interesting one. For
Also,
sure.
I got to give a shout out to Soil Tech. He was also out there for all the festivities, including the watch party. Great guy, man. Met him last year, but it was nice to actually. I think we talked a lot more this year, and that's what it came down to for me this year with that whole situation going out there. I was able to just talk to so many different people, like for a long time. I met so many.
BT Maverick's in the chat too. He was out there.
BT Maverick was out there. Great guy. I met, like, you know, of all people, I didn't think I would like sit there and talk with this person that long, but I sat there and I spoke with Chris Raygun for like a while. And we just talked about games and what we're looking forward to, and his girlfriend was there, and we were all
I
just
think he was
talking.
Like he's the Xbox guy on well, not
No,
Xbox. He's a pro Xbox dude on that panel.
I
Right?
don't know, but I also met Dustin in person. I've had him on the show before. Dustin can fly. He's been here before. Part of the Last Stand Media, of course. Great people in real life. That's one thing I just took away. Anytime you meet these people,
why I like to bring people. I like, come on,
my gosh.
let's talk. Let's all
Do you
meet,
remember
let's
we
have
were
fun.
sitting there, Hargeet, we're eating at Smashburger, and here comes Ray from Xbox Ready. And you're like, hey, there's Ray. And I was like, oh, I want to meet him. And so I met him, and I was like, wow, this guy's so nice, down to earth, and just a cool person. Got a good vibe about him. So yeah, you never know, like, you know, what you're going to run into. But man, everybody was so nice. Met Skill Up as well. He was very nice. But it was just a good time overall.
One of those things, right? Everybody's there. You get to meet everybody.
Yeah, everybody has such a like, nobody's really stressing about any negative thoughts or anything about anything. We're just sitting there, just relaxing and chilling with people and just having a great time. It's just a good time. I just all you gaming fans need to come out there. It's so fun. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, so those are like the big games and everything that's coming for Summer Games Fest, or that was in Summer Games Fest. I mean, overall, I think I scored it a B. I gave it a B, and I thought it was a solid show. A far cry from last year's. I don't know what you guys would give it, but B for me.
The Summer Games Fest show?
Yeah.
You're asking?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was a little bit harsh on Xbox's show because of the same reason for Summer Games Fest. Missing a couple big things and having a lull in the middle. So I think Jeff's show got a C+ or a B. It's kind of about what I would think.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I give it. I don't know. I've never really liked giving grades to game showcases. I always thought it was weird. Like, did you enjoy it or not? I did enjoy Summer Games Fest this year. Last year, I really didn't. So it was pretty good. And yeah, so I liked it. That's my rating. Because I said C+ on the Xbox showcase, and they're like, why? I'm like, well, there's reasons.
Yeah, I'll give it a B+. I think it was pretty good. You know, but I gave last year's a B, so I'm happy to see indie games, and a lot of people aren't, and that's fine. That's fair.
That's right. There was
but
a lot
I
for
look
you.
at those as games that I like to enjoy, right? So
Yeah.
a lot of indie games are the ones that really give me like cool new experiences, whereas the AAA scene has kind of become like I'm playing Horizon, you know, Forbidden West, and I'm like, dude, this has production value, fine, but like I don't like the game. It's just not fun. And like you play all these little indie games, you're like, this was actually really fun. Like that's what I'm looking for. enjoyment, right? Like,
Yeah, and really quickly, we won't spend too much time on this talk because there's other things to get to as well. But the IGN live thing that was there, it was not as good as last year, and last year was just meh. So I don't know that I would spend money to do that again. To be honest, I'll just be completely honest. It was more crowded this year, and they weren't letting people in with bags that they let people in with last year. The same exact bags.
which they finally fixed, by the way, so that there was enough pushback. They finally changed the policy. We left. We just decided because I was with the ILP crew and we were supposed to film everything, right? We actually had.
They wouldn't even let media in there with bags. Can you believe that?
Yeah, they wouldn't. We had to call them like, dude, we can't come in without a camera. What do you like? We have to have a camera. What's going on?
Dude.
And like, we're like, all right, we're just gonna leave. And by the time we were about to leave, they finally called back like, yeah, we can let you in with a camera. Like, it's too late now. So hopefully they don't have that problem next year. But like, I literally just had a GoPro camera. That's it, just a GoPro bag. Like, and that was too much. Like,
And the sad part is, there was Keosante and Boom behind me, and they both had bags, little satchels. Okay, well, Boom had a satchel, and Keosante had a backpack. Here's the deal, though. I watched several people walk in with bigger bags, and they just searched them and let them go through. For some reason, those guys weren't let through. And guess why they wouldn't let Boom in with that small satchel? They told him because it was too empty. It was too empty. What did they think he was going to do? Go in there and steal shit? Like, I don't know, but it was... bro, it
Whatever.
was crazy.
Very weird. They need to like
crazy.
get over that. Like, but yeah, that basically nullified us going in. We were ready to go in and do interviews and stuff, but then it's like, hey, if we can't even video it, then what's the point? Like,
yeah. So me and Alex walked in with an attitude already because they let our, they wouldn't let people that we were with in. So we were just already like kind of put off. But we walked in there, we both weren't impressed. We checked out the ID at Xbox thing, and I saw the one game that they showed at the Summer Games Fest, the one that was supposed to be like Doki Doki and Silent Hill. It was called something Bloom. I forgot the name of it. Something Bloom. Fracture Blooms. That's what it was called. And I tried that. Didn't care for it, but maybe some of you will. It's just a little slow for me. Anyways, that's all we really saw. And then we walked through the whole thing, and then we just left. Within 25, 30 minutes, we were out. We left. So I just feel like I wasted $40 to even go there, So next year, I don't think I'm going to go to IGN Live unless they really change it up. I won't say never, but they might change things. Who knows?
I wonder how I don't know if anybody in the chat was able to go to their version of the watch party, because they had the official Xbox watch party. I'm wondering how that went. I don't know if it was good.
I don't know. I doubt many people stayed for it because a lot of people I was seeing going in and out. So who knows? No word on replace Jacob Tua. He's asked Tapua. Jacob Tapua.
Game is like completely disappeared.
Yeah.
It was shown in like 2019, I think.
Yeah.
Like it was done almost.
Oh, I will say.
Or Last Light was shown in 2017, and that one's like nowhere to be found. They're both kind of side-scrolling, retro kind of style games.
I will say before we move on for the Summer Games Fest, though, completely, my game of the show there was actually that small little Muppet game called Felt That Boxing. I thought it was cool.
That was hilarious.
I thought it was cool.
That was hilarious.
Cool. Yeah. So
yeah.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out. The trailer. It's pretty funny. It's cool. It looks like a Mike Tyson's Punch Out, but with like Muppets.
With
like realistic looking Muppets. We'll go to the showcase, Xbox showcase. Clockwork Revolution all day was the best game shown there, in my opinion. That was for me, and I think for you too, Colt, right? Clockwork.
Yeah, it's the game of the show for sure.
Yeah.
They almost could have ended there, and I would have said, "Great show, thank you for doing that." Yeah, I really liked it.
Again, they started strong, and then it kind of puttered in the middle, and then it really died in the end. And I just did not like the way they closed it. I
gave it a C+ because the bottom was the middle was such a bottom out, and then the one last thing being a game comes out every year was just. I know the game looks cool, but obviously there was talks that there was going to be something else was going to be the one last thing, and apparently it wasn't ready. And so we got Call of Duty, and
you know what it reminds me of?
I just didn't watch any of that. I kind of I was done.
It reminds
Didn't
me of
really watch
saying,
it.
and here's one more thing. The sun will come up tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm like, okay. And that's what it was to me with COD. Because at first, and I recorded people getting like hype, right? When they were first showing the CG and everything, or whatever, the in-game cutscenes, people were really going, what is this? Oh my God. And for me, it kind of looked like Minority Report or something crazy. And I was like, okay, this is a new IP. I like this. And then all of a sudden, when it started showing COD, I was like, oh, it's COD. Oh my God. The shooting and everything. I was like, oh. And everybody was like, yes, what is this? And then as soon as they showed it was COD, they were kind of just like, oh. And they all sat back down. So the one game they did show that one of the Microsoft reps, I forgot who he was, but he told me he was actually surprised that we reacted the way we did to.
Was it Matt Chang?
No, it was another one. Another guy.
Okay.
He said that they were surprised at our reaction to Invincible, the fighting game. They did not expect people to get so excited for that. And I told him, I said, Invincible's a huge IP, man. People love that comic and that show. So yeah, of course it's going to do well. And he's just like, yeah, we didn't see it. And then he was like, if you would have seen the initial look at this game that we saw, it was pretty rough. But they've come a lot far, further into the gaming development cycle. So it's at a better stage now, but they say it was pretty rough. I was just like, okay, yeah, well, that's what happens when you develop a game, right? It starts off pretty rough and it gets better. But yeah, what other notable games here? We had our Outer Worlds 2, of course. I think that's just a given for me. It's going to be a good game for me. So I'm not really all that excited one way or the other.
Oh, yeah.
So since I was running this show, right, what I would notice was things where the crowd would react. So I kind of caught most of it. It was all in reverse and weird for me, but
Yeah, it was.
As far as the three moments that were the biggest, Invincibles was one of them. The Final Fantasy coming over, that was the other big one, and then the third big one was the ROG, Ally X or whatever, the Xbox, the new handheld. Those were the three moments that really, like, everybody was jumping. As far as like for me for games, overall, forget about the games. That hardware is probably the biggest moment from the showcase. For me, because I can't wait to see what they've done with that interface, and then when it comes to other other systems where I can just put it on my desktop, that'll be freaking awesome. Clockwork definitely showed up. That was pretty cool. But there were plenty of odd other games like Beast of Reincarnation. There's a new Plague Tale coming along. They had out of nowhere Grounded 2. I thought it was going to be Forza. Nope, it was Grounded 2 out of nowhere. That's what's coming out this year. We got Keeper from Double Fine. Those were pretty cool. I, like you guys, when I saw that Call of Duty, we knew it had to come at some point, right? And it's like the last thing, so okay, it probably is going to be that. But like, who thought that when you're going into it and you're seeing this like Inception level thing going on? You're like, what the heck is this? And you're like so excited. So what is this game? And then it turns out to be Call of Duty. But the question is this really going to be something crazy in Call of Duty, or is it really just going to be a standard everyday Call of Duty? Because if it really does something like that, that is actually pretty cool. I only play it for the single player. I don't play it for the multiplayer. Right, I'm one of the very small percent of people who actually only play the campaign. I don't care about the multiplayer for COD. So if the campaign is something crazy like that, that's actually pretty compelling. So I'd love to see it. Doesn't matter to me. It's going to be in Game Pass anyway, right? I'm going to play it anyway. But I'm actually interested in to see what the heck that is. But yeah, it was an interesting choice to end with that. But yeah, there were plenty of like odd little games that they showed. There's a lot of Japanese stuff that showed up. So very cool. It was a pretty good one.
Yeah. In hindsight, I mean, they could have ended the show with even the handheld thing could have been that. And I think that would have been a bigger, upswing at the end there that it needed, in my opinion.
I think it's got to end on a game, though. It's got to end on a game. I was hoping it would be Halo. apparently they're not ready, I guess, right? Because they hinted that they have all of that coming next year. They're gonna have Gears, Halo, Forza, Fable, all coming next year. They just didn't name Halo, but they said a game that's been around since the beginning. Yeah, okay. Obviously, they're talking about Halo.
Gosh.
Right,
Clockwork.
so,
I mean, Clockwork could have ended the show, and I would have been happy with that.
True. That could've
Preston
been
said
pretty good.
Colt looks upset or tired tonight. We were playing games late last night. We were playing.
Yeah, I'm just waiting until waiting and listen to you guys. But
No, you can jump in any time, Colt. Come on, you know that. I don't run the show like dealer and say, "Wait for your turn."
Who?
No,
I don't need to see Halo at this point. It would take a monumental reveal to get me excited about Halo the way I used to be. But especially since I am very, very confident that the next Halo reveal is Combat Evolved Remake, a game that why? I don't know. It's the same thing that I critique other platforms for, making a third or fourth remake of a game, that's just fine. Just leave it alone. I know they want to cut their teeth on Unreal Engine 5, but cut your teeth making a new game instead of remaking one. And you got all this stuff, and you can build it in Unreal Engine 5 and make it look really great. And there's a new generation of Halo fans that don't exist yet, but I think the new generation of Halo fans wouldn't come from a really great looking Combat Evolve. I think it would come from a really mature, very intense Halo game that is a bit scary, violent and modernized and just brutally awesome.
Yeah.
What's that?
For sure.
Isn't that what Combat Evolved was? Right? It was really good.
It was in its time. Yeah. The Flood was really, really, really cool. And, they did a good job with it back then. And I'm sure they can modernize it visually, but
let's see what they do with it, right? Let's see what they do with it, right? At least it's a 20-year-old game, right? So at least
I've only had a brief glimpse of Gears Reloaded, and it looks really, really good. Looks really, really nice,
right? Because I was about to download it. I'm like, but if it's multiplayer, I don't care. I want to see what the single.
Yeah, I mean, I could. At least we can see what it looks like, and I saw a couple screenshots, and Gears Reloaded looks really impressive. No doubt that that Halo Combat Evolved Remake is going to look incredible. It's going to look like a modern game, but it's still the same game. And if you've been around for 15, maybe 25 years, you've definitely played your fair share of Combat Evolved.
Do you think they wouldn't change it a bit? Do you think they'll keep it exactly the same, or they'll remake it like in a Final Fantasy VII type remake?
I'll bet they're just going to dress it up really, really nice. It'll be the same core game, the same levels like they did with the Anniversary Edition in 2011. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. Huh?
That was just a remaster, though, right? That was not a remake.
No, I mean, the Anniversary Edition is more of a remake. A remake doesn't mean that you have to modernize the game completely. They rebuilt every single level and made it look like a game you'd see in 2010s, and it does. It looks really, really beautiful. They fixed some of the levels that look the same, and
right?
Yeah, and you could switch back and forth between 01 and 11.
Not a remake. Because even Oblivion, right? That's still called a remaster, not a remake, and there's a lot more changes.
Yeah, but
that's
everyone calls it a remake, though,
and that's where I think.
But I don't want to harp. I don't want to be negative about Halo. That's not really the point.
No, I get your point.
I don't even remember
because it's kind of like what we've felt with Oblivion, right? So I mean, well, for me, anyways, not for you because you've never played Oblivion, but I have, and so when I'm playing this remaster / remake, because some of the things were remade in the game, of course, and some of the animations and stuff, it's really good. Don't get me wrong, and nostalgia is like a hell of a drug. I love that's my favorite Elder Scrolls of all time, but I can't complete that game because I already know that game through and through. I'm playing through it, and I'm like, oh, I know what happens here, and do I really want to do this again? I just don't feel like it. So it's going to be the same way with Halo Combat Evolved, because again, that's my favorite Halo game. I know Halo Combat Evolved. I've beaten it twice, and once recently, a couple of years ago. It's just not the same. you would have to do so much to that game to completely change it, and they're not going to do that. I don't know. That's just the way I feel. So I'm with you, Cole.
What got me on the Halo thing, because I didn't want to harp on that much, but I don't remember why I was saying.
Well, because I told you
what I need.
The next, it could have been the final thing, right? The one more thing.
Yeah, the final thing. Like, I would have rather it been Elder Scrolls 6, even if it's not ready for another couple of years. But I also understand the frustration of showing a game and then we're gonna wait years again after you showed us the game in 2018. So I don't know. We just wanted something
new
that wasn't Call of Duty. That's it.
Or not even necessarily new, just something cool,
right?
Yeah,
I guess that's what you were looking for, something bigger. Because we did get Grounded 2, we got Keeper. Those were first party new things.
Yeah, I mean, Grounded 2 is huge for me. It's probably not huge for a lot of people, but I was super happy with the Grounded 2 reveal. Outer Worlds 2 looks incredible. Clockwork Revolution looks amazing. There were a ton of games to be excited about. It's just that middle part of the show with like all these little games, like the obligatory games, like, hey, we made a deal here, and we have to give them their time in the limelight. And that's the part where I kind of check out.
Right?
What's that one?
I don't know. What did High on Life 2? That looked pretty cool.
Oh yeah, High on Life 2 looks awesome.
4,
yeah, I didn't expect that. And then they're like this winter, so it's probably December.
Yep.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's so good.
What did you think of Beast of Reincarnation?
It's really good looking
devs,
too.
Right?
Yeah, that's another
devs. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Game Freak. Yeah.
Game Freak.
Oh, Animeo.
That looked interesting. Yeah.
Animeo was pretty cool too.
Right.
Like a Power World Pokemon thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout
out to Walkerman, by the way. I got to shout him out. He became a channel supporter. I appreciate you. And he also sent a $10 super chat saying this: supporting the show, Fonz. Finally got some sleep. Missed you at SGF Colt. Congrats on the graduation, though. Hargeet, you're a legend. Clockwork was my game of the show also. Excited for Super Meat Boy 3D.
Oh, yeah. Super Meat Boy. That was another one.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
There was a lot of them. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed most of it. Yes, it was maybe a little bit like there were smaller games, but I don't know. They still seem pretty good. So I guess the ones that I probably don't care as much about are There Are No Ghosts at the Grand. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't know about the rest of it. Like, okay, maybe I won't care as much about Tony Hawk's, but it's still Tony Hawk's. It's a pretty big game, right? So I know they're going to talk about it. They gave us a potential release date for Hollow Knight, right? That came in there. They had the updates. These are the parts that I don't usually like, is the updates for Elder Scrolls and Fallout 76, Sea of Thieves. Like, cool. I understand you need to do it, but it's like, couldn't you do that in an extended showcase somewhere else? I don't know. I don't need to see that
for sure.
But when you have a thinner year, they're gonna give you more of those. But yeah, so I still think the showcase was good. I gave it a 9. I thought it was pretty good. But the thing is, I agree that it's not as good as last year's, because last year's was just insane.
Come on. Yeah, last year's.
Yeah, apparently I gave it a 79 when I looked at the grading scale, but there's a lot to talk about besides like breaking down the games, and it's like the power of Play Anywhere. And there were just so many cool games that there's something that Hargeet and I said when we were at Showcase in 2022, like they didn't have anything coming in the next 12 months, right? And that was like a major complaint we all had. And then they were like, oh, but we've got all this stuff coming. So there were a few games that were missing that bothered me, that we didn't see State of Decay 3, which I thought we would see it and it would come out in 12 months or 18 months from now. We didn't see Gears E-Day, proof of concept, and then maybe Perfect Dark or Fable. But here's the best part about that conversation is you can no longer laugh or mock the statement saying they're going to show all that stuff next year, because Xbox has 12 games coming out in 2025, and almost every single one of them are high caliber or high rated games. So they don't have there's no Game Pass slop. All 12 of the games that are coming out are really good, from Ninja Gaiden all the way back to Oblivion Remake and Avowed. And maybe if you don't like South of Midnight, it's still like, what was it, a 78 out of 100?
I love that one.
That's the worst thing. That's the worst thing on the list. Yeah.
Stop playing that one. That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
So Xbox had a lower showcase. Like, it wasn't as good as last year. but like everyone's always like, what are they showing at Showcase? Well, everything is coming out now. Like you can play these games now. What did they drop? They dropped High on Life 2, and there was another. What was the first party game? Grounded 2 was a game that's coming out this year. If you buy it on early access, was there something else? Like there were games that they showed that are coming out right now that you can play.
Keeper comes out in October. Right?
Keeper, there it is. Yeah, so people may say, I heard people say, just another wait till next E3. It's like, guess what? Like,
no,
you're allowed to say it. Xbox is stacked, and then 2026, forget about it. If you're going to complain about where are the games, it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and even with that, like I look at the showcase, like this dip down, then it came back up and had a good ending with the Outer Worlds 2 Direct and the grounded thing like that. It was a great show.
Yeah.
There are so many games. Like, how can you not be so excited? It also folds into the Xbox ROG Ally thing, which has upset so many PlayStation
we'll
fans.
get into that.
I understand,
later.
like we got upset
later,
about.
Colt. We'll get into the whole ROG Ally thing. It's a whole
just
section on all its own.
It's a whole thing.
But I have to agree with you. I was just saying this to people the other day. By the way, I think I said it to Legendary Drops. I met him when I was out in LA. We had lunch and stuff. And I was telling him that, Xbox is finally having games come out at a consistent rate, and they're good games. There's, they may not be like, they may not all be stellar or high quality, but they're all good games. Like they are finally putting out games at a consistent basis. And this is what we've been just asking them to do since 2017, Colt. We've been like, where's the games? And now we finally are getting these games. And we had a smaller show here. Last year's show had their bigger games. This year we got kind of their smaller-ish games, but we still got some big ones like COD. And I would put Clockwork in that category now because it looks amazing. And I would say that even with the smaller titles, they came out and had a really good show. And that's a great sign coming from Xbox. Because all I care about is the games. I could give a shit about all this other stuff when we're talking, sales of consoles and all this stuff. Look, games, that's where I'm at these days. I just want to hear about the games. And
I can't play sales. I've tried. It's no fun.
Yeah, I've tried to play Twitter for years. It didn't work out for me. I don't play Twitter no more. It's amazing to see finally that they have games. And I'm down with that. So, again, I think I gave this show a B or, an 8. So that would be my score for them. They were just, I want to say, maybe just below Summer Games Fest for me, but by a hair. I mean, they're both the same grade for me. It was just that ending, the one more thing, I thought RE9 was a better one more thing than a COD, that's where I give Summer Games Fest. So, what's that?
Let me see if the embargo is up on that, and I can tell you more.
What about you,
RE9.
Cole? Yeah, what'd you give it? The showcase? C+?
Well,
that's right. You said C+.
Yeah, I mean, I think I give it a 79 out of 100, but
close to.
I feel like I'm kind of rough on that, but there's just a lot of games in the middle. I'm just like going, there's not for me, but that's a me problem, and that's why people may not like that, but the score is for me. And if there were things in the middle that I wasn't really excited about, then my score is going to be lower. And if you're excited about no ghosts in the whatever, like, I mean, I also said during the show, we did a live stream with Gaz and Rand. I said, this could be like, this has potential. Like people could really, really flock to this game. I might not, maybe I will. And that's all you have to say, really. Yeah.
They had games that you want to play. Okay. Unlike this next topic, there's a game that came out this week. And,
oh my.
Well, talk about a turd sandwich with extra mayo.
It's probably the worst game of the entire generation.
Seriously, shame on Build a Rocket Boy for putting a game out so hot. You're bound to get third degree hemorrhoids. Okay. If you played it, this game is not good. I mean, let me get this right. So they say the story's okay. The cinematics are good. It's a decent looking game, but the game itself is buggy and broken. and it seems like it's a different degree for everybody on how broken it is, but it still should not have been put out there. And Colt, I'm going to go to you first here with this. Boy, did we dodge a $60 bullet.
You were on my show last week and we said if you predict the Metacritic right on the number, I'll buy the game for you. And I think you said a 68 or something like that.
70. It had to be a 70 to.
Well, 70, we said we would buy it if it was a 70, but I said if you predict the score spot on,
maybe a
I'll
60,
buy you the
69,
game.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you gave it I think your prediction was 68. There's not enough reviews to give you an actual score. There's like 5 reviews, 4 reviews, but right now PC is at a 43 or something.
Colt, I don't know how he does it, but that damn Rand can guess a Metacritic like nobody's fucking business.
Oh, he didn't guess 43, dude.
No, he guessed like 48. Remember? He was saying he was going to
be. He said I can see this game being in the 40s, and I said, gun to your head, what's the score? And I think he said like 57 or 62
but he did mention 40s, right?
Yeah,
I don't know how he does it, because I wouldn't have guessed.
Well,
that
he talked to 2 of the people that played or were in preview stuff for it. Got like the access to watch footage and stuff early.
Yeah,
but yeah,
dodged a bullet though, right?
Guess.
We dodged a bullet.
Oh yeah.
We got Stellar Blade instead, and now we're just
is that or Stellar Blade?
Yeah. It's a much better game, and it performs much better. There's a few people in the community I've seen that like it. Solid Rev said that he seen the issues, the AI sucks and everything, but he can see the vision for a game like that. But he said, will they actually put their money to actually make it a better game? And I don't know that they will, especially if there's not a lot of sales. How could you?
They're not going to be able to afford to. I think that studio's probably going to have to close. Studios have closed for far less, but I hate to sound angry like you did, but F them for selling this game without gameplay previews, without hands-on.
That's right.
That's right.
They sat back and said, let's just hope that as many people can buy this thing as possible so we can make our money back, and we'll just stay quiet. We'll blame paid reviews, and I know Cyberpunk sort of did that. They showed stuff only on PC, but like these guys wouldn't even let people play the game and have no one got early review codes. They just wanted to see how many sales they could get by people who just would go ahead and just buy it on the idea that, hey, I used to work at Rockstar, and that is really toxic in the industry.
And to add even more to that toxicity, they actually tried to put out there that there was a smear campaign going against them, funded by people like Rockstar and other studios, which is insane. Like, can't you see that people tried your game and it wasn't good or it was broken? And that's the reason why people are complaining? It's so nuts. Hargeet, what do you think about all this with Mind's Eye?
It's sad, it's unfortunate, but that it's up to the game developer to make a compelling game. And like you look at the metaphor for PlayStation, it's even lower. It's like a 31.
Oh wow!
That's on them. It's up to them to make a game that's worthwhile. The problem, this might have been okay, 30 years ago, but nowadays there's just too much variety. There's too many. There's freaking a small development team like Sandfall makes Expedition 33, puts that out there, and then you put out this, and you're like, come on, dude. You have to have something compelling, and you look at what they've pulled off and what you're pulling off. It's baloney. It's baloney, and you have to deal with that world that you can't just put out crap anymore and expect it'll just work. Sorry, that people will move on. They'll move on. You need to have something compelling enough. There's way too much out there that people can go and spend their money where they want to, where they're going to get more enjoyment. That's just the world we're in now, right? It used to be like you got 1 or 2 games every quarter or something like that. Fine, maybe this would work, but nowadays, forget it. Like you get 10 games a day, and you got to find a way to step up and say, I'm going to, be visible because of this specific thing that I do better than everybody else, right? Like, go ahead. That's what you got to do, right? So, it's too bad. And like you said, Colt, that studio's probably going to go away. It is what it is. It's unsustainable to continue that kind of thing. CDPR pulled this off with Cyberpunk, where it came out like shit, buggy, everything was bad. However, they came off of one of the biggest games of all time with Witcher 3. And so there was a lot of like, okay, we'll give these guys a chance to fix it. And that's what they did. They fixed it. They had the money. They were able to fix
and the game was really, 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 really good and deserved being fixed.
The underlying root of the game was good. Exactly. The underlying parts of it were good. There was actually something substantial there. They just needed to refine it. Fine wherever. Right. A couple of years later, that game is in good shape now. Right. From what we're seeing, there's really just nothing compelling about this game. So it's like, if you're not going to stand out, sorry, there's too many other games to play.
There was already they tried to push this campaign that this game was somehow going to be another GTA style game and stuff. And this is, I know that Build a Rocket Boy was kind of not saying those things, but they were kind of retweeting some of that stuff. Like, this is kind of a GTA killer type of thing. Now, at the end of the day, I found out just a couple of weeks before the game launched that no, it was nothing like GTA. It's a very linear experience. There is no free roam. It's not like an open world game. And that put me off already. But I was like, you know what? I can play a game, with some good shooting and a nice, driving mission and stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. I would have played it if it hit a 70 and wasn't buggy as hell. But this is the problem with the AAA space right now. And it's what you kind of touched on earlier, Hargeet, is that this is why you find more innovation and some cool stuff going on in the AA space and in the indie space, because these guys are hungry. These guys are trying to put out games that are actually solid when they put them out. Like, it's got to stop. These types of AAA games coming out it seems to be happening all the time. Not to this degree, but we are getting a lot of games that come out and they're constantly filled with bugs, or they need patches. And even if you buy that disc version, guess what? You're stuck with a broken game unless you get that download, day one patch. And it's sad. Interestingly enough, I came across a channel earlier today, and I forgot the name of the channel, but it's of a guy who basically buys physical games and tests them to see if you can play them offline. And guess what? He gets a lot of views. And I'm like, wow, he's kind of a genius, but you're spending a lot of money on all these games, but hey, that's what he does. And sometimes you can play them offline. Sometimes you can't. You have to have that patch to even play the game. And, sometimes you'll be playing a game and you'll be stuck with, the bugs and stuff because you can't download it. But anyways, I thought it was interesting, but yeah, it's just, it's kind of gross. And it's why Cole, me and you have found like smaller games that we played the last couple of years, and we've gotten really interested in them, like Enshrouded. That was one of the games we played.
Yeah.
And it's just, these are from smaller teams that don't have these big budgets and everything, yet they actually put out a product that's decent and runs well and has good game mechanics and has some interesting things. And that's why I always kind of toy with the notion that, maybe the AAA space is kind of going to implode at some point. I don't know, but something like this,
they don't see it.
Yeah,
like,
go ahead.
The smaller devs understand that gamers and consumers are really critical, and they know exactly what they should or shouldn't look for. And so the smaller teams are like, we're working on this. We hear you. We're changing these things. And the big studios are like sitting in a conference room and saying, here's a laundry list of things that people like, and just make it do that, put stealth in it, do this or whatever. And they do this paint by numbers, build by committee thing, instead of letting one great creative do something amazing. That's why some of the smaller games, people are saying, oh, they used to say a couple years ago, oh, that game's not AAA, who cares? Now AAA is kind of an insult.
Yep.
So there are exceptions like Rockstar, and I think about Vince Zampella working on the next Battlefield.
Let's hope. I hope Rockstar doesn't screw it up.
I don't think they will.
I don't think that's going to be a problem, but
don't you put that devil on them, Hargeet. Don't you put that devil on them.
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't say, I don't think they're not going to screw it up, but Rockstar is like, I don't know. Rockstar just waits until it's near perfect, but Vince Zampella working on, Who?
Rocksteady, do you think they'd screw it up? After
Oh
that
yeah,
Batman Arkham
absolutely,
series?
absolutely.
And
I
I'm like,
did
what?
when I heard about Suicide Squad, and then I saw it, I knew for sure they were going to screw it up. You could just
You see what I
tell
mean?
they weren't making
Never,
they weren't making their
you
thing.
didn't think that before, right? You're like, okay, this is a great team. They're gonna
Well,
make something
no,
good,
no, no, no. We
right? You
were
never
like
know. BioWare.
our little circle was very upset at Rocksteady when they
Yeah.
went away from
When we
the
saw what
Batman
they
formula
showed.
and went
Yeah.
to that
Yeah.
whole multiplayer thing. Before we even saw it, when we heard about it, we were pissed. So it was kind of expected from us. Game Seeker, thank you for the
Yeah.
$2. He said the Fallout 76 showcase spot was a complete filler. I don't know if it was
So
necessarily
what was a complete filler?
a Fallout 76
The
segment
Fallout
in the
76.
showcase. I think they
The
have
season
they
update.
kind of
Oh,
have to
yeah.
showcase those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying with filler, but I think that it's the same thing with Sea of Thieves. Same thing. They kind of always do that.
He's
thing.
also talking about, as he often plays Fallout 76. That content was already a thing. Like,
okay.
people were
Gotcha.
already like getting into the content. It wasn't like a big content reveal. I also really do. I love Elder Scrolls Online, but I do not want to see it as a showcase. And I don't know how to.
Same.
The problem is
Took
millions of people play.
forever.
Same.
Yeah, and
Is
millions
it?
of people play
That
Elder
took
Scrolls Online.
forever.
Millions of people play Fallout 76. Millions of people play Sea of Thieves. So having it there makes sense to Xbox and those
Yeah.
teams.
Because Cole, some
But
people would
I
say,
just don't feel like it belongs there.
yeah, because some people will
it
say,
in a
I don't want to
post-show.
see Grounded at a showcase, and you're like, I do.
That was a new game.
You know,
right?
there's
that was
always-
a new game.
That's brand new. Yeah. That's a whole
true,
It's at least a
true,
new
true.
game. But,
But-
like, you know, as far as like the Elder Scrolls Online, that went for like, what was it, like 7-8 minutes? I don't know. It just seemed to drag on for me, at least. I don't know why it was that long. Just even if you had like a 2-minute clip, like, okay, go away now,
Yeah.
move on.
Web Dave, member for 5 months. He says, Fonz and Hargeet, it was great to meet you guys in real life. Yeah, it was great meeting you, Dave.
course.
Honestly, it's really cool. Hung out with Dave quite a bit.
You tomorrow, Web Dave?
Yeah, he was really cool. Now, you know, speaking of creativity, though, Cole, a company that seems to have lost some creative edge, Sony, they're doubling down on live service. It was reported that SIE's CEO Herman Holst shared with the business presentation, their annual business presentation anyway. During this, he said that they are going to just move forward with more live service games, guys. Hargeet, how much of this? I know you love Sony. Okay, first off, I have to say that I know you love Sony so much, PlayStation so much.
I like certain PlayStation
You like their
studios
games.
a lot. But
Yeah. But what do
I
you
do
think
like
about
some of their
this
games.
going forward live service? I mean, what do you think they could do to kind of find that solution to their problem of not being able to make good live service games? Like, is there a studio do you think would be better off trying this, or?
This is a tough one. I don't know that there's a good answer. I would have thought what
Arrowhead?
they did was Arrowhead doing
Arrowhead's
Helldivers
out,
2.
Colt. They said goodbye.
I know.
But that is a good path to do, right? Because you had a game that people actually liked already. You know, like, okay, let's try to make this a bit more than what it was. And it worked. It worked really well. That was exactly the kind of thing you do. They consider MLB The Show a live game. Fair enough. Whatever. That continues to run every year they have it. You know, they bought Bungie with the hopes that Destiny would continue on and be a great thing. That seems to be sputtering. Let's see what happens as they continue their new seasons. Marathon, oh my God, I don't see that going anywhere. I'm sorry, I just don't see it going anywhere. But hey, good
Neither
luck to
does
them if they can make
PlayStation.
it.
Neither does
Yeah, and,
Bungie
you know,
themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's internal rumors that they know it's not going to go anywhere. But like, whatever, like, good luck to them if they can make that work. Good for them. But I just don't have high hopes at this point. I feel it's kind of another Concord, 2.0 that's going to happen there. And you've got Fair Games, and like Fair Games, I mean, they play tested it and it failed miserably. And so what, they're going to redo it now? How much money are they going to keep wasting on that thing? At some point, you just got to say, cut your losses and move on. What they did was a strategy of, let's go buy some studios that are making live games. Fair enough. Let's go fund a live game from a game developer that already did one. That was close to live. It just wasn't live, but it was a multiplayer game that went well, which was Helldivers. Cool, that's a good idea. Buy one of the big multiplayer games that are live service already. Bungie, great idea. However, it all just seems to fail for them. Okay, like they've splintered off Team LFG to make gummy bears, and I'm like, I don't even understand how you greenlit this, but okay, whatever. That's your choice. Fine. They have another Splinter team off doing something else. I can't even remember what the name of the studio is, but whatever. Like, again, none of it seems to resonate to the level where it's going to be something big. Now, they don't have Daddy Microsoft, which is unfortunate, because with Daddy Microsoft, Phil could go get Minecraft. Okay, that's just an automatic win. That thing is still the top selling game of all time. It's crazy. So whatever, right? They just win with that. Just keep printing money. Oh, we can go spend $70 billion and buy Call of Duty. Okay, well, they can't pull that off, right? Sony can't do that. Microsoft can. They can just say, what are the big black hole games? Let's just buy them, right? That's something they can do. And the other side just can't. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. They want to get to that level, but it's not easy to do. It's not easy to displace, Fortnite. Good luck. Good luck displacing that thing. It's this massive behemoth now. It's going to be very hard to displace. Is it possible? Sure. Roblox came in and disrupted Minecraft, right? Is it dying? Is Minecraft dying? No, Minecraft's still doing very well, but Roblox is another avenue, right? It's very hard to do that, though. Now, if you wanted to say, hey, Sony, why don't you pick that up, right? They got Minecraft, why don't you get Roblox? Roblox is like $40 billion. They don't have any chance of doing that. Microsoft could.
I don't even think Roblox is even on PlayStation at this point. Still not.
I think they have finally come over to PlayStation, but yeah, I mean, it was exclusively console on Xbox only. But I think they made it to the.
I don't know why it was, but
it's because Phil actually just saw it and said, "Okay, let's fund bringing that over," right? And that's why, because he sees these things and say, "Hey, this is a big game, let's bring it over," right? So say with PUBG, he brought that over to console, and then now it went everywhere. It doesn't matter; it's fine. But that's another one, by the way. PUBG is another one of those black hole games that people don't realize. It just has a massive amount of PC players playing that game, and but it's not one that either one of them owns. It doesn't matter. Xbox doesn't need it. They have black hole games already. PlayStation's trying to get to the same level. It's not going to be easy to do, though. They need to have cash. They need to be able to say, hey, let's spend $30-40 billion and buy Epic or buy something along those lines. It's not an easy thing to pull off. They don't have it. And so you could luck out and you could say, hey, we made one of these games and it worked. Cool. They didn't really get to that level. I think Helldivers is really good, but it doesn't measure to a Call of Duty or an Apex or whatever, right? Even Apex is kind of puttering.
Oh, boy.
It's puttering. But this is just kind of the world they're in. It's not an easy thing to make happen, but they want to keep trying because they know they need that kind of cash.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can make that kind of cash, then they can fund the rest of their games. That was always their problem, right? Yeah, you look at their top games, they listed them. Call of Duty's in there, but a lot of it is all these games we know about, these big, multiplayer, free-to-play games that just keep generating revenue. That's what they're looking at, and that's what generates their profits too, and that's how they're able to fund their games. So it's a little disappointing that that's the direction they want to keep going, but I kind of get it. What else can they do, right? It's not like their studios are pumping out games at a clip that's equivalent to Nintendo and or Xbox. They don't have that ability. They're telling you we're going to have one game a year.
Yeah, but
they're literally just repeating it.
But because, and this kind of goes to what Phase 23 BKNY is saying here. Thank you for the $1.99. He says, Sony doom and gloom from Hargeet. What's new?
It's not doom and gloom.
It's not just doom and gloom. It's actually, just look at what they've been doing with live service and how badly they've been at it. Arrowhead was the only studio, and it's not theirs, that has done well with live service.
If I was to take a breath and take a step back and look at PlayStation this generation, I would side with Hargeet that they've had some great games, but overall, they've sold consoles really well, and they've had a couple of really great top hit games, and that's really. And then when you look at the games as a service falter and the overabundance of remasters and remakes that have dominated a third of their releases, on top of them releasing sequels to PS4 games. And the situation, the dire situation that PlayStation is right now, where they're trying to retool games as a service, they have canceled 12 games this generation, if I remember the number right. they've canceled a third of their roadmap for right now into the remainder of the PS5 generation.
Yeah.
They are struggling to provide games to they're selling the amazing PS Portal is an amazing product. They're selling it like crazy. The PS5 and PS5 Pro are selling really, really well. But you got these pieces of plastic where you're relying on Xbox to provide you games and the rest of the multi-platform third-party platforms and publishers that are creating all the games you're playing on the PlayStation while you're waiting for your favorite first-party studios to make the great franchise you've been waiting decades for. They won't make Resistance. They won't do Killzone. They won't do Jak and Daxter. They won't bring back Uncharted. It's been a very difficult and frustrating generation where Xbox was really frustrating the first half of this generation. Now they're doing really, really well. There's always a push and pull when it comes to PlayStation versus Xbox.
Yeah,
and really,
and
when you're looking at the games, Xbox is killing it. PlayStation is in big trouble when it comes to providing games for their customers.
I mean, Face, wouldn't you say that if PlayStation were to have not done all those live service games, you know, and not tried to do any of that stuff and just stayed the course with their single player games, I think they would have been a lot better off. And I think you would agree with that. I just don't
Especially
think
if they don't.
Yeah,
Especially if they don't go crazy with the budgets. I wish they cut the
true.
budget a little bit, make it so they're sustainable. Like a lot of these games can just do fine on their own, right? You can have big budget games, have like 3 or 4 of them, but the rest of them make them like 50 million, 100 million max, and that way at least they can sustain on a couple million sales.
But
That's a
I
good
mean,
plan.
even if you're looking at this from any kind of objective stance, I mean, this generation, Sony is, yes, Colt's 100% right. They've sold a lot in plastic, but what about, and even some of their games that were, you know, well done, but there's so few and far between, and they've poured so much money into things like Concord and Marathon. And if Marathon fails, I mean, it's a complete disaster
Very
over there when
likely
it comes to
will.
live service.
Just doesn't look good. Now, on the flip side, they're saying their subscription levels are really good, right? They've grown the extra and premium tiers. I think
they're good like
products
Xbox.
about
They're going to raise
48
prices like both of them are.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. And it's very likely. I think Game Pass is going
so
up in
dumb.
price.
So I mean, you know, Sony's got a lot of issues, but at the end of the day, I feel like, I mean, Colt, can you lend them some of just a fraction of some creativity over there because they need it? It seems like their studios have lost some of that, or maybe Sony's just holding them back. I don't know what it is.
They're not letting their talent create great,
Probably
compelling games. They're pushing the lightning in a bottle service game that everyone's just going to play every day and ignore the rest of their library. Like, I think that's what they want. They're like, spend a couple $100 million on a live service game that everyone plays forever, like Fortnite.
I know,
a cool
but you know
thing to
how
chase
hard
after.
that is. You know how hard that is to actually make a game
It's near
like
impossible.
That's
Only like 3 or 4 games are doing it right now, like Apex or Fortnite or whatever. Like it's
for sure.
You know, Pal World was one of them for a while. Helldivers 2 was one of them for a while.
Yeah, but again,
and then Arrowhead's like,
their
no,
studio.
we want to go bigger.
Yeah, and
it's not their studio.
And that's the issue.
Also,
they're trying to find this lightning in a bottle from one of their studios because they want 100% of that revenue. And I get it.
The problem is the majority of studios out there on planet Earth that are making video games, they want to go bigger. They want their games to go to every human being that plays video games on the planet. They don't want to be exclusive to one piece of plastic. And that's why Square Enix has changed what they're doing. And that's why PlayStation executives have kind of hinted that they're going to go in more places than ever before. Maybe that means when they say we're going more places, like we want to be on a handheld so you can take PlayStation wherever you go. We want to be on cloud so you can access the games you buy from us. Does it mean, maybe that means we want to be on PC sooner than later instead of waiting a year and a half. We want to be on their live service games day and date. We want to be on PC as soon as you can get the game done, maybe not at launch because it cuts into their sales. The people who don't see this, they don't understand. Like Xbox has done it out of necessity because they don't have enough console customers to sustain exclusivity, and that's been proven over this past 12 months. But what is actually coming in turn of that is it benefits everybody, the developers, the publishers, the consumers, the people who are making hardware and software platforms. We're in an amazing time right now where you get more for your money, and the people that are fighting that they're just cheating themselves, really.
Yeah.
And I used to fight it all the time, but the industry's changed a lot over the past couple of years.
It's true. Face 23 BKNY.
More games, more good games.
1999, he says, yes, live service for Sony sucks. Regardless, Sony is the only gaming company that broke records with $31 billion in revenue out of all the game companies and 8% profit. Yes, mostly in DLC, microtransactions, and plastic sales, because they do make money on those as well. It's not really their gaming sector. Outside of the microtransactions.
Hardy can tell you what that means.
Yeah.
It's a third-party game sales and
microtransactions from those third-party games as well.
They just reported on it, right?
Yeah.
What did they say? What did their Hardy? What did their report say? That most of their money comes from what?
Most of their money comes from the content and services, and it's mostly through third parties that all the
other people's games.
Like your Fortnites,
yeah, Fortnite and Call of Duties and all that stuff. That's where they make their money, and that's fine, right? And they're hoping this year, of course, was a little light for them, right? Concord was a massive fail. It didn't really go anywhere. The Astrobot didn't sell as well as they were hoping. It should have sold more, right? It was Game of the Year for Pete's sake. But it didn't do well. That was their big one game. So now they're hoping to make up for it with Death Stranding 2's coming out. They have Ghost of Yotai, right? Hopefully that'll help bolster things. Of course, with Death Stranding 2, I don't know what the mix is there, because the IP is now owned by Kojima, so I'm not sure how that works as far as money, right? But that's their problem. But they were hoping to get Marathon to be the big thing that drives their profits this coming year. Even with that, they're expecting a revenue drop. That was what they were putting out there, that they're going to have a revenue drop, but they were hoping for more profit. I just don't know that Marathon's going to do that for them. But good luck. I think there's plenty of other games that will still continue to drive profit for them. They still have a very recognized brand. The box keeps selling. It is slowing down. Sales are slowing down, but that's kind of expected. Yeah. It's kind of nearing the end of its life cycle there. It's already at like near 80 million sold. How much more are they really going to sell, right? So fair enough. But as far as like the business, I think their assumption of making live service games of their own is a tough sell, but I don't fault them for trying. It's the big thing that drives money. We get it. Everybody wants to do it. Every freaking publisher wants to do it. Yeah. It's just hard to do.
Danny Passion Official, thank you for the 2. He says, Face is running out of Sony money. I don't think so. He just dropped 2 nice super chats. I think he's got that Sony cash. Who knows? He's on the payroll. He's got to be, with how much he defends them. Cult Classic Cage with the 5. Thank you very much, Cassie. She says, Sony sucks this gen, and with a complicit base, don't expect much to change. Cassie, as somebody who loves Sony games, okay, or loved them, I have to agree with you. This gen, they are not doing very well. For me, they haven't been. I'm sorry. I just don't like all the remakes and remasters, and I'm not even a big fan of most of their games that have come out this gen. I'm really looking forward to Ghost of Yotai, however. Really looking forward to that.
I hope it's good. Really. I'm really looking forward to it myself.
Yeah. Danny Passion Official with the 2 says, Face, PlayStation age is gone. Welcome to the Xbox age. I wouldn't go that far, but hey, Xbox is becoming a big third-party publisher, and they're massive. They're massively huge. Where's that? Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that thing is massively huge.
Yeah. Brett Bingham with a 5 says, let's not forget Strauss Zelnick said PlayStation was pushing major publishers to $80 to $100 games at the beginning of this generation. Right.
Do you think they'll change, Hargy? Do you think they'll push their game changes to $80 like Microsoft and Xbox and Nintendo did?
Hargy, yes.
You mean PlayStation's first party?
Yeah. Will they?
I mean,
yes.
Probably. I don't know when, but yeah, probably. Look,
no,
if it becomes an industry standard,
eventually.
Not to.
Yeah. It's a standard at this point. It's becoming that way.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Cult Classic Cage, thanks for the 5. She says, ponies care more about Sony's money than what Sony is doing for them. This is why I make fun of them. Keep counting your man's money like a good girl. You know you want to say like a good bitch. You know you wanted to type that, and it would have been okay to type that. You can do that in this chat. Face23 BKNY says, thank you, by the way, says, Hargeet Chani, notice how Microsoft is moving its Xbox fans, Game Pass subscribers to PC. They're not. They are not moving their fans. There are some fans that decided to move, but not every Xbox guy out there is on freaking PC, dude. Not even close.
No, not very many.
Especially if the next gen console is also OEM. Look, he says, just like Nadella said, we are changing what it means to be an Xbox gamer. But that has nothing to do with pushing people to PC. PC on its own is an expensive gaming hobby, okay? To get into it anyway. Once you're in, yeah, it gets cheaper. But that initial cost is a lot. And I've heard from a lot of gamers that have come and told me personally, DMs, even in my chat, have said, look, Fonz, if the next gen consoles are all $700 and up, I'm out. They've priced me out, literally, of gaming. I can't afford a PC, let alone a $700 console. So, no, not every Xbox gamer, not even close, not even 50% of them are going to PC. I wouldn't even say 30% of them are going to PC. I just think that what we see on Twitter is a small bubble of the millions upon millions of gamers that are out there. We're in this small, tiny bubble of a gaming community on Twitter. We barely see anything. BT Maverick, thank you for being a member for 4 months. Says Tencent made more money than PlayStation as a gaming company.
Maybe.
I don't know, but maybe. USO Vinny.
Wow, thanks.
They're usually up there.
Thank you very much, Vinny.
Up there.
Appreciate you. Says, excited for the handheld, but even more excited to see how Xbox will make more of my console library available on PC. Now, this is a man who has gone to PC, but for very good reason. Like me, it's that performance. That's what he wants. He wants the performance. It has nothing to do with Xbox trying to do whatever they're doing with the plastic hardware and stuff. It's just different gamers, man. Want different things. And that's fine. Variety. It's the spice of life. By the way, did I tell you guys that keep this quiet? I'm an insider.
Oh, of course.
Guess why? Because I knew that the Game Pass price was going to be hiked months ago. I was arguing with you guys about this. I even said it's going to happen by the end of this year. I knew. But nobody told me. No, absolutely nobody. I have no sources. I just speculated. That's all I did. I said it's coming, but I just want to be an insider now. Okay. And no, Game Pass is apparently raising the price of, Xbox is raising the price of Game Pass, but also Sony is raising the price of their subservice, their PS Plus. Now, Cole, how are we feeling about all these price hikes? We've already got 2 gaming price hikes this gen.
Where does it end? Like, how many times have they hiked the price of Game Pass? They brought us in and they said this is the price. My biggest complaint, which Hargy would probably argue with me on this one, my complaint is that they pleaded with the FTC and the regulators and told them that they wouldn't use their market position to increase the price of their services and their games. Now the games are $80. They're increasing Game Pass for the second time in the past 2 years or in the past year. They haven't announced the increase, but I bet they do it before the end of the year. They'll probably do it right before Call of Duty Black Ops 7 comes out. That's my guess, my speculation, my prediction. But I mean, when's it going to stop? Like, quit. I don't know. They're reportedly making like $4 billion a year on Game Pass, and they're going to continue to increase the price on it. It's right now for Ultimate, it's $20 plus tax in the US. It's already getting to be like, really? Do you really need to be charging us this much every single month? The value is unbelievable, but that still doesn't mean that we should just roll over and take it.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. It's crazy. Brett Bingham with a 5 says, let's not forget the stupid Xbox fans jumped the gun and went to PlayStation before they integrated integration of third-party storefronts to pay $80 on PlayStation. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
Face 23.
What do you think, Hargy? What do you think about the price hike? What's your What's your take on it?
I think they're going to do it. I don't know if it's across the board or not, but the PC version is really cheap right now. I'll just say
It's
that.
$10
I would
a
guess
month.
that one's going to go up. I think it's 12 right now, something like that
Yeah.
a month. I would expect that to go up. I don't know that Ultimate doesn't go up as well. So I would expect it to kind of go up. I agree with you though, from a consumer perspective. Why the heck do we care? This is kind of cheesy. Why does it continue going up in price? This is
Yeah.
where I really am annoyed with LenaCon, because this is what they could have done. Right? They decided to say we're going to block it. They could have instead said we're going to go to the table. You have the price for this is locked for 10 years. They could have done that.
Yeah,
They could have
100%.
easily
yeah,
done
they
that.
didn't.
They didn't. They could have done
Instead,
that. That would have been a
they
good
tried to make
benefit.
sure that PlayStation got fair services and fair, equality with games. And
Yeah, this is what they could
Which
have
is
done.
not
They
their
said,
job.
Your price for games can't go up, and your price for Game Pass can't go up. They could have locked that in, right? And then fine, okay, fine, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, you're $70, and you're at this price for Game Pass. That would have been an awesome deal for us. That would have been great for us. But they didn't do that, right? I wish they had done that. I wish they'd come to the negotiating table and said, "Let's make a deal,
Makes
right?
sense.
And let's make this better for the consumers."
How
But,
much?
Oh well,
How much do you think it's going to go up by? Couple bucks?
couple.
Three?
Bucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be my guess. Couple of bucks.
Yeah. I just,
no
and the
idea.
reason why I speculated this is because I saw it as being inevitable, because the price of these subservice, look, and I'm not defending Microsoft or Sony, but the amount of games that Xbox has going into the service that they're spending a lot of money on, especially in 2026, I mean, it was kind of obvious, like they'd have to try to collect more, because a lot of people are doing what I'm doing now, which is subbing for a couple of months to play the games I want to play, and then unsub for a few months. So that way I can play all their games and spend maybe a little more than it costs for one game.
One thing
the problem now, they have something every month.
Yeah, but I can wait. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I can wait 2 months
Exactly.
and then sub, play those 2 games, and then do the same thing. That's what I'm doing.
So Ubisoft Plus, for instance, that's what I usually would do, right? I would just pay the $19 or whatever it is, and I'll play whatever game for the month. But they offered that really good deal for 1 year, and I'm like, oh, well, that's actually a good deal. I'll just pay that 1 year cost. They got me for a year, right? So whether I even use it or not, they got me for a year. But that's what they need to do. They need to offer you like an enticement that says, okay, I'll give you like a 40% discount if you pay for the year. Okay, fine. You might decide.
Yeah,
well, that's
they
not
should
bad
do
then.
that.
I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, okay.
I don't know why Xbox doesn't give you like a discount. If they're going to raise the price of Game Pass, they need to say, if you pay for 12 months, we'll knock, $18 off of your yearly subscription, because they'd be better off getting people like staying for an entire month than to get someone who could just leave at any time. I think most people probably just stay. They keep it, especially the way Game Pass is. It's kind of hard to leave. We have no idea, but my guess would be the majority of Game Pass subscribers probably just stick around for a while. Wouldn't you think, Hargeet?
Yeah, I mean, I usually get those like discount codes, right? So I'll get a 3-month code whenever it's really, really cheap. I'll buy a couple of them and then scroll them away and then just keep re-upping. So that's kind of how I do
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I think a lot of people would, just because, well, it just depends on if you're that kind of gamer. Like Fawn's perfect example of a gamer was like, well, you have a couple of games I like now, I'll subscribe. And then when I'm done, right? And
Yep.
that's totally fair. And that's the same thing that I would normally have done with Ubisoft. I would just buy for the couple of months I'm going to play your game. Then I'm out, right? I don't have to worry about it, and I have full access to your top tier of that game. That's a really cool capability. EA Play Pro does the same thing. You can subscribe for the months where there's a game that you want to play, and it gives you the Ultimate Edition. Cool, play, and then goodbye, right? So, but yeah, for Game Pass, it's been like that. The problem with Game Pass is it includes online access, which if you don't have online access, you then have to go back to Core. And it's like, well, I'm not doing that. I need online access. So
And Core
so
doesn't
I
give
just-
you the latest and the greatest games.
Okay.
Exactly. It doesn't give you anything. So so that's kind of the thing with that. Now, when they go to next gen, that'll be very interesting to see if they kind of combine this to a PC level thing where you don't need, and they have.
They're
to get rid of
screwed.
online paywall.
Yeah, I
An
think
online
next
paywall.
generation, they cannot charge for online. So Xbox has to be
Yeah,
really careful about how they make any price changes right
Yeah.
now.
So, Phase 23 BKNY. Thank you for the 1999. He says, at Fonz, what is Xbox ROG Ally X, a Windows/PC handheld, and the next gen OEM is Windows PC, not a console. No, but here's the thing. Here's what you're trying to make an assumption that, okay, so this handheld and the next Xbox, because it has Steam there and everything, that it is just PC. Basically, it's moving people to PC in that way. And if that's what you're saying, I guess, but at that point, it doesn't really matter because people, whoever's on console will be buying the next console, whether it's a PC slash console hybrid thing, you know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And I don't even really see it as like, I think the console will always be looked at as a console, kind of in the same way when Valve had their Steam machines and stuff. Do you remember those? And they were kind of like their console that they had beside the set-top box by the TV. I'll always look at it like a console, even though it plays PC games and stuff. Games are games.
People don't get it. They're not looking at what Xbox has been giving you all the hints of what their future is, because they've been calling it Xbox PC app. They've been calling it Xbox PC. They've been calling it on PC. They just call it Xbox. When you load up that app to play their games or play through Game Pass, they call it Xbox. And now they started to use Xbox PC more universally in their marketing, even though they've called it that for 9 years. So what people don't get is if you're playing games on Game Pass, you're playing Xbox's first-party games outside of Steam, you're playing on Xbox. And the name Xbox has meant more than just a console for over 9 years. But there's this derangement syndrome where people don't want the name Xbox to be associated with Microsoft's gaming because they don't like Xbox. They don't like the console. They don't want it. They don't want that. Yeah. And this is a major growth thing for Xbox moving forward. The Xbox brand is getting bigger and bigger. Right now, it's bigger than it's ever been. And next generation, you're going to be playing, if you buy an Xbox console, you're going to be getting everything you want on PC, plus everything you wanted on console in the new Xbox console device, which will have full capability of Windows 11. And I don't know about full capability at launch, but you're going to get the capability of playing games outside of just the Xbox PC app. So,
but I guess what I was trying to say,
people aren't ready for that,
is that this next console is still their console. It's not something that the question earlier was, or what you were saying was, your statement was that they were pushing people to PC. Now, PC is much more expensive than their next console, depending on what you buy or whatever. But I would believe that if you were going to buy it, their next console, I think it's probably going to be $700-800. Okay. And could you get a PC that runs better than that at even $1,000? No, probably not. You'd probably have to spend more than that. And not everybody has the money to do that, let alone pay for that next console. That's another story. But they're more likely to buy that console than a PC if they can't afford it. I mean, most of the gamers that I've seen, that I've talked to and stuff, like it doesn't seem like they want to spend that type of money on a PC to play games. And that's fine. Not everybody can do that. I couldn't have bought a 4090 PC. Thanks to Hargeet, he sent me the PC. And I appreciate that, Hargeet, but like, I couldn't have afforded that. There's no way. And so, I mean, I just don't get that notion that, oh no, they're just pushing people to PC. And here's your other point too. You said that, and thank you for the $2, by the way, PC Game Pass is cheaper than console Game Pass. Yes, that's true. I suspect one of the reasons why they've done that is PC gamers are a different breed. They're the type that don't like to spend much. Like, console guys have bent over for a lot. Okay. They've bent over for many years when it comes to paying for online access and all that stuff. PC guys don't really like doing that. So I think that's one of the reasons why they came in at a cheaper price for the PC Game Pass. Also, they did it so they can up the price later, get them acclimated to, hey, you love this great service. Now you'll pay a couple bucks more. And I think that's what it's more about. It's about the PC gamer and their mindset when it comes to spending money. Because it's a lot different from console gaming, believe it or not. They're a different breed. They do not stand for the bullshit when it comes to paying more out of pocket. A lot of guys won't even spend $70 on games there. If the games are $70 there, they're like, F that, I'll wait for a sale or buy it on CD keys or somewhere else. It's just, they're that way. Thank you for the 20. He says, you can leave Game Pass. You don't own any of the games on Game Pass. Okay.
So what?
I don't care.
So
I don't
what?
care. I don't care to own
Who
games.
gives a flying crap?
I don't care.
Why do 48 million people subscribe to Extra and Premium? They don't own anything either. Why don't you go complain to them and tell them why they're doing
Here's
that?
the funny thing. If I own 1,000 games on Xbox. If I really want to go play a game, I'll just go play it on my library. If I play a game on Game Pass, how about Atomic Heart? Like, let's say I wanted to replay Atomic Heart again. It's not. Let's say it's not on Game Pass anymore. It's probably not on there. I would have to go buy it again. I'd have to go buy it since I rented it. I already played it. It's probably $20 for that game right now. I don't get this. Like, you don't own your games like it's an insult, because buy whatever games you want. Here's the thing I always want to say to people when you're like, you don't own any of your games, put a lie detector on these guys and say, how many of your 1,000 games that you own do you replay? And they'll be like, out of 1,000, I mean, I've replayed like 20, 30 of them. Yeah, me too. Yeah, if I want to own a game, I just buy it. I buy as many games as I buy more games than I play on Game Pass. I don't know why this is like we got you. You don't own any of your games. You don't own any of the TV and the movies that you watch. Most of the stuff you watch is streamed. It's so ridiculous. Even worse?
The fact that you would even say you own a digital library.
Because you don't.
Because honestly, they can remove that anytime they want. You don't own
Even
that.
worse, they can lock your account. They can take your account at any time and you are effed. You're done. There's nothing you can do about it.
The thing is,
no recourse.
Face says that he was responding to Cole about not leaving Game Pass. Well, the thing is I leave Game Pass once I'm done with the game, because I don't know if you were around in the time of Blockbusters and these video rental places that you can rent games. I've played hundreds of games, rented them, never owned them, and had amazing experiences with them. And I've got memories of all these games I've played that I've never owned. And guess what? I have no remorse. Yeah. There is no remorse about it.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Man, I wish I would have owned that Bubble Bobble back in 1987. No.
Almost any game, almost every game, there's exception unless you're on Nintendo. You can, if you want to go back, because normally if you replay a game, you usually like wait a year or two, right? Like if you're like, oh, I want to play that over again, you usually don't do that 6 months or a year. Usually it's because it's been a little bit a while. And for the majority of games are dirt cheap if you want to pick them up and play them again. And but I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. It's
and look, I replay tons of games.
If you believe in look, I believe in ownership too. Like if you want to own your games, that's great. That's fine. But not everybody wants to own every game they play. Yeah. And that's there's no issue with that. Not everybody can afford every game they play. That's why GameFly, that's why a Blockbuster, it was such a big thing for gamers back in the day. Because I couldn't afford it. You want to know something
else? I am so into music more than I am games. And I used to own so much music. Like at one point I had probably 40,000 songs I owned that I had them stacked on DVD-Rs. And I owned those games. I could listen to them anywhere I want. I could put them anywhere I want. And now I am all on Spotify. I don't even use those discs anymore. And that used to mean so much to me to collect those songs. Yep. And I don't care anymore because I just have them immediately as I want. For $12 a month, I can get them everywhere I want immediately on my phone, in my car, or whatever.
Do you know what I did with all my
ownership
CDs?
can mean something to you, but if it doesn't, and someone's like, you don't own any of your music or your games, and someone could just say, so? And I'm one of those guys. So?
I
traded in all my old CDs and stuff because I didn't need it anymore. Like
I still have them like in a freaking whatchamacallit, in a box sitting in my garage. But I was way back. I actually paid to buy the encoder for MP3 and took my CDs and got the highest bitrate versions and recorded everything. Yeah. So I still have that in the library, and I can dump that into an Amazon or a Google or whatever, and just play my music along with other music, right? Because I have this.
I've done that.
I have that on YouTube Music.
It's like,
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is like the convenience factor is just there. Yes, the CD quality is probably better, but it's like I'm not gonna tell the difference.
Yeah, you're
And
right.
guess what,
Listening to
Hargeet?
music,
And guess
like, good
what?
enough.
You and I believe in about 10, maybe 15 years, people are going to do what they do with music with their video games, and they're going to love every second of it. Like you and I've talked about, or you have predicted that in 10 or 15 years, your smart TV will have a processor in it strong enough to let you play games capable right natively, right? And I've told this to people. They don't like hearing it, but like in 2035, you're going to be like, I can just turn on my TV, turn on my wireless controller. I can have every game I want right now. It doesn't even need to download. It's like cloud native hybrid, and it looks amazing. And I don't even miss it. Like I don't miss popping open the case. I don't miss downloading the game and waiting for it to install. Like
some people
it
do.
just
Like
matters about enjoying the game.
And that's fine. If they want it, that's I'm not going to hate on them. I get wanting ownership, and that's great. But for me, I like most games, I don't care to own it. Sorry, I just don't.
I just don't care about the evil corp. The idea of an evil corporation like can pull your digital library or physical games like offline at any point. Like I just don't. That's not really a thing. And I know Modern Vintage Gamer, who's amazing, would, and John Linneman would say, be careful, Colt, because you're looking at a future where they could totally screw you over. And when you look at the 10,000 games that have come over the past decade or so, how many games have been yanked from you? Battleborn, Concord.
You know what I own a lot of?
I don't know. I mean,
and they're just
it's a worst case scenario. I just don't think it really happens.
It just clutters up the freaking house. Is a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays. I have
and I kind of got tired of that.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who waits for physical games, and I'm like, dude, get over it.
Hargeet,
I don't really say that to him.
I still buy the 4K disc for a movie I really want to see
like the 4K Blu-rays,
because of the bit rates.
Yeah.
But if it's just a casual movie I don't really care about, I'll just watch
that, right? If they would
stream.
Like I have a gig internet. Like give me the full bit rate in a streaming, and I'd be happy to do that. But they don't do that. They have Kaleidoscape, which is like ridiculously expensive. I'm like, no, come on. Give me something more reasonable, right? But that doesn't exist. Until then, it's 4K Blu-rays.
Yep. By the way, Rachie, member for 2 months, says PlayStation fans proudly own their game so they can replay it when a remaster releases at full price.
Oh gosh.
Face 23 BKNY with the 1999 says, thoughts on Xbox making a physical version of Gears Reloaded for the PS5 and not Xbox? Game Pass.
Yeah.
That's why they're not going to do it. It's Game Pass.
That's fair.
Game Pass is why? That's not why.
Game Pass. I think Game Pass.
Consumer perspective is
why, Colt? Why?
Kind of annoying, right? That they wouldn't do that. But go ahead.
I think they're not making a physical version because around 90% of the Xbox consumers are digital. And there's like, why? It sucks for the people that want digital or that want physical.
But wait a minute. Well, it's like that for PlayStation as well. These days.
PlayStation's like 80%, but
but
I heard that it was
still
closer
really
to 90
high
on Xbox.
Of course it is, because why? Game Pass.
I don't know. I just think it's funny.
A lot of people.
They have two SKUs. One of them is digital only, right? And now I guess even the Series X, they have a digital only, right? So
I got to ask Hargeet this one. Like, we're in 2025. I mean, are we kind of holding on to a ridiculous notion that we're playing games off an optical disc still in 2025, or is that still a viable thing? Because I've been away from it for over a decade. I have not been buying physical games.
It can be,
and PC doesn't have it.
PC hasn't had it for a long time. As far as like on disc for PS5, for instance, some of the times the game is there. A lot of the times the game isn't there. It's actually still just a license code, and you still have to download the game anyway. Now Nintendo outright admitted it. Like they could have the game on there. It doesn't matter. You're downloading it anyway, right? Even if you have it on the cartridge, you're downloading it. It's like well, so this is kind of the world we're in. I understand the physical thing. I'll give you the business version of it and the consumer version. The consumer version, it sucks. It just sucks. It sucks. If you're a physical guy and you want to get the game on physical, Xbox just isn't for their own games. They're just not doing it. And like and there's, I think you're right, Fonz. A lot of that is, first off, half of their or more of their user base is on the Series S. They're not going to get physical anyway. It's a digital only console, right?
Mhm.
They've moved even the Series X. The majority of that is probably going to be digital sales as well. And so they're like, why bother, right? And on top of that, Game Pass. Game Pass exists. A lot of those players are going to play those first party games. They're going to play it in Game Pass. The very few that want the physical, it's just
Oh,
not worth it
shoot.
because of the logistics.
Hey, I got a
Right? They have
question.
to actually put thing out everywhere.
Since Face
Sorry,
gave
Ben.
us a question, I have a question for Face. Thoughts on Forever Physical? What happened to that movement? Forever Physical.
Oh my.
80% of Sony guys are on just getting digital games now.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
why
that
put
big
it out on
push. Forever
PlayStation that way?
Physical.
There's two things that I'm not sure about, right? One
I don't
is
know that
like
they'll
it
sell a
could be
lot.
that hey, there's enough. It could be enough of a demand, but the second one, it may be that if you're at a AAA level, they kind of want you to have it physical on PlayStation. So that might be the reason why they do it. I don't know. I'm just not sure. And like so that might be. But from my perspective, I understand why the business side they're not doing it. It's because there's just not enough demand, and to logistically create it and put it in every country on every store shelf is just money that just isn't necessary. And they're like, what's the value here? I still think they should offer something. I hear limited run is kind of bad. It's not a great service, but that's the kind of thing I think would work, right? To say, hey, if you want it, go here, get it yourself, no problem. We'll give you a physical copy.
Yeah.
Right. But it's gonna have to be something like that.
Right.
It is kind of skating uphill at this point, though. Physical is kind of just it's becoming a problem. If you want to have the play, it's tough to do that. If you want cloud, it's tough to do that, right? You kind of need to give up on that. If you want the ability to merge Windows and Xbox, you're gonna have to be digital. That's the only way that entitlement is gonna work.
Yeah.
So
what do you
I've got
have,
a
Cole?
weird.
Yeah.
I have a situation that, like, I stopped kind of. I used to go and look at the stores, like 5+8 years ago or whatever. When I would go to Walmart or Target, I would look at the games and see if there's like any really dirt cheap games, because you'll see like back in the day I'd see like a Just Cause 3 copy to see if it was cheap, because it's been sitting on the shelf for years, right? Back in the day. Which funny, I would go to this bears explaining, but let's say I'm in a Walmart and there's like all these games that have come out throughout the PS5 or PS4 generation, right? And I always thought it was funny that in Walmart or Target, they're overpriced, because I look at the games that are for sale on the digital storefront all the time, and a game is like $23, and then they're selling it for $45 at Walmart for the disc-based version. I'm like, what the crap? But the other thing I wanted to explain was when I go to these stores and go in the gaming section, there are stacks and stacks of all these physical games that it just seems like, and I'm talking back in the PS4, Xbox One generation, that no one was buying. And every time I go in the electronics section, I look at all these games. It's stacks of all these different games, 3 or 4 or 5 of each franchise sitting there that no one's buying, that are just sitting in retail space. And I think in my mind, okay, across North America, what does every Walmart look like? Like, they've got thousands and thousands upon thousands of copies of this one game that no one's buying. And then they're sitting in warehouses. And this is when digital is becoming more popular. But now when you look at the PS5 generation, I know I'm kind of ranting here, but you look at the PS5 generation and digital has overtaken so much that it seems asinine to press discs, to make the cases and the art, pay for shipping, pay for retail space, sit them there, and then reduce the price of them over and over and over, throw them in the freaking bin. I used to dig through those bins like 8 years ago, this bin of games that no one is buying, and put a sticker after sticker on them. And we're sitting here wondering, why aren't people supporting the physical games industry? It is so far gone that there are people who collect them on their shelves, and people are like, here's my physical library. I'm like, that's awesome. But I feel bad that you're living in an era that is leaving you so far behind. PC has been all digital for over 15 years. And I would be very shocked if the default console on PS6 has a disk drive. I would predict the PS6 in 2027 gives you the option to buy that attachable disk drive that they designed for the newer PS5 and Pro. I think that's probably what they're going to do. They're probably going to make that little segment of the PS6, that little corner of it will be modularly fit to continue to take that 2024 disk drive, because I think it's over. The physical thing is kind of over.
Yeah.
But
sadly,
I still want people to do what they want.
Of course.
I don't know.
Of course. Cole, I need
Wayner says Walmart's pig trough bins.
Dude, I remember looking through those DVDs, man, way back in the day. What's in here? It's just a bunch of copies of Charlotte's Web and some stuff I don't want to see. Just like, no, thank you. I want to ask you a question, Cole. What is an Xbox?
Well, I don't necessarily subscribe that an Xbox is anything that can play Xbox games. But I mean, I don't fully subscribe to that, but an Xbox is a device, according to Microsoft, anything that has access to Game Pass and has access to natively play Xbox games as they are right now in the modern era since 2016.
So why would you say that so many PlayStation fanboys, so many gamers out there are like upset that Xbox gamers are calling this new ASUS ROG / Xbox handheld an Xbox handheld. And there's like full meltdowns over this. I mean, I had one guy, I don't even talk to the guy. I say nothing to him. I don't address him in anything. I don't even speak on this handheld. This is the first time I'm like really talking about it besides your show. I don't really talk about this, but yet he actually made a video and he's like, this current ROG Ally, Fonz, does everything that new one does. And I'm like, Fonz? What? Why am I being called out? I haven't pushed anything. It's weird. Why am I in his head space about this? You know, what's going on with these full meltdowns? I don't get it.
The first thing that's causing the meltdown is it's a new product from Xbox, and a lot of people are talking about it. And so threatened PlayStation fans are trying to downplay it as much as possible, just like a lot of us did with the PS5 Pro. Like PS5 Pro was like a really big reveal. I was, bugged that Xbox didn't make their own mid-gen refresh, and then the price of the thing was crazy. So people are looking at this going, why are Xbox fans getting excited about this handheld? The other problem is they're threatened because this thing has an Xbox logo on it, has an Xbox button. It's got a brand new Xbox dashboard and a way to access Game Pass and the native Xbox games on PC immediately. And you could play every PlayStation tentpole, like the best of PlayStation's games right now. Some 50 games that are available on Steam or Epic Game Store. Yeah. So this kind of causes a problem. It's deteriorating and dissolving the idea of exclusivity, or you have to have a PlayStation to play our games. And now you have a device with an Xbox logo on it that plays their games. So
dude, of course I'm just laughing because all the koalas popping up.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I love it.
It's just weird. I don't know. I don't talk about the guy, and all of a sudden, boom, Koala Boy says something to me.
Face goes, it's a product from ASUS, not Xbox. Face, do yourself a favor and go watch the promo and then go watch the dev doc. It's less than 10 minutes long. You'll actually learn something about the product, and you wouldn't have said that. So it is a product, right, Hargeet, from ASUS and Xbox. It's an ASUS Xbox ROG Ally.
Yeah, it's co-developed.
Sorry, what'd you say?
It's not just.
Yeah,
it's a co-developed product.
Xbox didn't come in and go, where can we put our button?
Hargeet, the question I want to ask you, the question I want to ask you, Hargeet, that I need answered since you're a tech guy. What exactly? Or no, I'll ask you this way: can this latest ROG Ally X that's out now do everything that potentially can do? The new ROG Xbox.
There's
Ally
newer hardware, right? There's newer revisions of hardware, so that obviously is going to give it more capabilities. So whatever new capabilities come with the new Z2A Extreme or the AI chip that they have, whatever, right? So they have a Z2A, which is the lower tier, and then the Z2AI Extreme, which is going to have even more capabilities, right? So presumably they will leverage that AI to do hardware-based upscaling, which FSR4 can do. But they would have to customize it. Maybe they don't use that and they use their own direct, what do they call it? Direct SR, I think, the super resolution that they've created there on their own from Microsoft side. But look, there's going to be more capability than what's in the current ROG Ally X because it's just newer hardware. That's all, right? Now, beyond that, they also did a lot of work with Microsoft to make it more of an Xbox controller type feel, right? So it isn't just taking the current ROG Ally X and saying we're just going to up the interior CPU, APU, and give it a different software. No, they changed the actual design to be more of a Xbox controller feel. So it's got the Xbox impulse triggers. It's got an Xbox sort of controller like sides, right, to kind of make it feel more comfortable ergonomically, right? So it isn't
Which
just
the thing needs.
Yeah, exactly. And like, so for everybody that I've heard of that's played the thing, that's been hands-on with it, they all seem to like it. They all seem to praise it, okay? Even if they're not even into like mobile like or portable gaming, they don't care about that. They still like, this thing feels good in the hands and it plays well, right? So, wait till it comes out to see what it's, what it's about, right? But it does seem like they did like, sweat the details to make sure that this thing feels like a good portable in your hands. Just like we thought the Portal, right? The PS Portal was going to be a joke. No, that thing sold. It sold a lot.
It was at launch, but they've knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job.
It's got mobile capability. It's really good.
Yeah. So I would suggest you just wait till it comes out. Now they've customized the OS a lot. They were, on the journey trying to get that all working, and it was in a really crappy state at the beginning of the year.
We both have one, Hargy. We both have the ASUS. We both have the ASUS ROG Ally, and it's
ROG Ally. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. I have the older one, like it's from last year. It's got pain points that they are addressing in this dev doc. And Chris Coleman goes, "It's just an ASUS ROG Ally with an Xbox UI or whatever." He said, "I'm like, dude, did you not like Hargy? Just like you're too busy typing. Just listen. Hargy's explained to you. It's it's probably the most. It's the most powerful handheld if you don't count that weird areola or whatever that thing's called." That looks like a DS. I don't know. I'm just making the joke. I don't know what it's called. It's got a weird name like that. You know what I'm talking about. It is the most powerful, most modernized handheld on the market. It'll be better than the Lenovo Go and everything when it launches. And it's got ergonomics. It's got integration with Xbox where you can just hit the button. You can bring up party chat, friends, messages, Game Pass, your library, achievements, everything with an actual real integration of Xbox. So they did, like Hargy, I'll just repeat Hargy's amazing explanation. Ergonomics, the integration of Xbox, the UI, it's got more power, better capability, more RAM, everything. It's a whole new deal. Yeah. And it is co-developed by Xbox.
It's basically,
it just can't play all of your console games.
This is the way I see it. I don't know if you guys would disagree, but I see it as a ROG Ally. I see it as a ROG Ally with heavy Xbox integration. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
There you go. Good. Well said. I'm going to read this one because it's to me.
Oh, hold on. Before we read that one, I'll let you read it. Let me get to the other one first. Do you know the Broke Boy Insider says, thank you for the 10, by the way. He says, you want to make a PS fanboy mad? Use their logic against them. Tell them that Stellar Blade, Death Stranding 2, Helldivers 2, and similar games aren't PlayStation games. They're third-party games with a PlayStation logo slapped on them.
Ouch.
I get what you're trying to do there, but you're messy.
One? I don't know if you got that one.
Which one?
Denny Passion, $2. The new generation of gamers play on tablet. I don't know if you got that.
Oh, I didn't. I didn't. That's funny. Yeah, well, now I guess they're playing a lot of handhelds, I guess. It's crazy. Handhelds are just the rage right now. Go ahead and read the next one. Face 23.
He says, so Colt's going to spend $800, $900 to play PlayStation games on a ROG Ally X, a Windows a PC handheld. So you can already do a lot of projects like, you can already do that with a lot of products like the Legion Go ROG Ally, Steam Deck, and etc. Bro, look, I just told you, bro, like take the earplug. I just told you I have a ROG Ally. I'm playing Stellar Blade on my PC. Like what? I don't. This is why I tell people you're not listening, and I mute them. Like I just mute them over and over on social media because they come with bad faith. They're not listening. They're not. I've said on X and C, if you already own a Lenovo Go, Steam Deck, or ROG Ally, you probably don't want to buy this. But if this is your first handheld, you're probably going to get the best one that you can get in a long time. Like this is why people can be excited about this if they're looking like. Because believe it or not, like Fawn said earlier, there are people who have Xbox games and they own games on Steam or Ubisoft or EA Play, like me. Like, it's a thing. People have their old library and their new, and a mix of that across. Like, this is a thing. Like, and it really goes to show that there are people who are so restricted. Like, they're in the anal pipeline of one place where they only play on a PlayStation. They just cannot fathom that people want to play their games however they want, on the go, on a PC at the best quality. Just sit down and play on a console. Play your PC like a console. Like, this is actually a thing, and it really goes to illustrate that there are people who have only understood the one plastic restriction that chokes them into the logic of thinking that people cannot be excited about something like the Xbox Ally. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I appreciate it.
Danny Passion Official with the 2 says, Colt, not Legion Go. It has an OLED screen, more RAM. I don't know what he was referring to exactly, though.
I think the Lenovo Go does have more RAM, and the OLED screen is nice. This thing should have had OLED screen for sure.
Yeah. But then more cost for sure. It's just funny to me. I don't get why there's a hysteria about this thing. Like, who cares if somebody out there calls it an Xbox? Like, I don't care what you call it. If I wanted to buy the damn thing, I would buy the damn thing. And I wouldn't necessarily call it an Xbox, but I would just say I got a cool handheld and I'm playing my games on it. You know, to me, the things that matter most is the functionality of the thing. The things that you're saying about how you can get to Game Pass with the touch of a button and you know, go into your achievements and all that stuff. You've got the handles on it that look a hell of a lot more comfortable than that freaking thing that is currently on the ROG Ally, just a square, you know.
Yeah. They say it's like you have to have flat fingers. You have to have your hands like this, which makes it really difficult to get to the bumpers. I mean,
those are the kind of things that I look at first.
Yeah.
And I really don't care if people call it a PlayStation for all I care. Like, I don't care. But it's just weird why anybody would get mad.
The PlayStation hate. Who cares? The fun part is we're getting an Xbox that's going to have a major UI change for Windows. It's going to give us some capabilities that we didn't have before, which is really cool.
Okay.
Right? So let's talk
you
about
think that'll pour over
right?
to desktop?
Yes, I think.
You said
before we Cargeet, before we get into that,
later.
I had an epiphany.
Yeah.
I know exactly why they're mad. D-Batch, I know you're there, buddy. I know why people are upset. I know why you might be upset with this. Because this is a precursor to what the next Xbox, yes, their Xbox, is going to do. It's because Steam integration will be there, which means PlayStation games are on Xbox. That's it. Who cares?
Hold on. Why does D-Batch care if you play PlayStation games on an Xbox handheld or ROG Ally or whatever?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know.
Play on PC?
I don't true, but I don't necessarily know if it's the PlayStation games for him, but I think it's the fact that people are calling this ROG Ally an Xbox. But this is a precursor to what their console is going to be like. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
Like, this is going to come from Xbox with Steam integration.
Yes. And it will look something like this with, I think they'll take away the ability for you to load in the desktop UI, which this will let you. It won't have it by default, but you can load it in if you want to, right? So I think the Xbox console will not let you do that, but put that aside. The cool thing with this, because it's labeled an Xbox, like you were mentioning, Colt, it doesn't have your console library yet.
Right.
They're working on it. And once they have it, this device can have it. Why? It's an Xbox. From the legality perspective, they're allowed to put their games on an Xbox.
I got to ask you about that, Hardy, because I know nothing. I know nothing about that, because I made the joke to Tom Warren. I said, why can't they just tell everybody this is an Xbox, and then there's you can't do anything. Like, no one can stop you. You can load your copy of Just Cause 3 with your Xbox version and your progress on there, because like no longer on the inside does it have to have like this special like hardware that only can be an Xbox Series console. Like,
Yeah, they probably have it. There are little auth chips that they require you to have if you're an Xbox peripheral, right? And that equivalent needs to be on the Xbox side as well.
Like
and
that SoC is like imprinted in to say it's an Xbox Series, whatever, and then so
yeah. So
I don't know how that works.
Well, I think they have that ability there. I think it's ready to go, and they're working on getting the virtual machine, the emulations to work to allow you to bring your 360 library, to bring your Xbox One and Series X, whatever library over. That's, I think, it's going to happen. It's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen at launch. It might be this time next year. They're in a beta or something like that. I think the real version of that comes when they come to next gen, right? That'll give you the full release version of that. But this device should be able to do it because it is an Xbox. So I think that is one of the key compelling things about this. I don't know if you saw the leaks on the potential prices for it, but if that is of interest to you, that might be something to look at, right? Maybe you want to wait. Maybe you want to wait until it actually is officially there, but it is coming. It looks like they are working that piece. So you will get your older library, your console library on this device at some point, and that is freaking awesome. That is an awesome thing. And then that will just become the next gen Xbox, where it will just give you the whole thing. You will get your entire back cat. You will get your Windows games. You will get your Steam library, Epic, who cares? Play wherever you want, do whatever you want, right? That is going to be an awesome thing when that comes next gen.
Nerds and other legends, they can't, I don't think they can block it at all. This proves it. The Steam and Xbox integration here into this handheld proves that the next Xbox, if it does have Steam on board, there's no way they're going to block PlayStation games. And I don't think PlayStation cares at that point. I think PlayStation
unless
games,
PlayStation really does make
this is a UI
unless
change
PlayStation makes
anybody. Right? Are they really going to do that to anybody on Windows? Like, I doubt that.
It's not going to.
That would be the end of the Valve relationship.
Do you think that PlayStation wants to make their own PC store? Because then they can keep that off of Xbox related devices. I don't even think if PlayStation had their own store that was available on Windows PC, I think you could just add that to your Xbox Ally. If PlayStation next month has a PlayStation PC store, you would just download it on this Xbox Ally, and there's nothing they could do about it.
Danny Passion Official with the 5 says people are missing the point. The fact that big companies like Microsoft is getting into PC gaming is huge. That will boost popularity of the handheld PC.
I mean, they've already been in PC gaming. It's pretty much their environment.
Yeah.
So
Cypher 45, thank you for the $1.
Microsoft
Appreciate it.
And Windows for God knows 4 decades.
Yeah, it's crazy to me though. Like I don't care what you call it. It's got an Xbox button on it. I know that. It's got a logo. It's got freaking full Xbox integration within this handheld. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I don't see why people are complaining either one way or the other. It's going to play your Xbox games, not all of them natively. Now, again, D-Batch did harp on this, and I want to make this clear. I know, D-Batch, that you can't buy a third-party Xbox game and then play it on this ROG Ally like you can with Play Anywhere, like with their games. I know that. Yeah. That's fine. But I think everybody knows that at this point.
And people say, oh, well, it's just you're playing the PC version. It's not the same. It's not Xbox. If you're playing a Play Anywhere game, you're playing the Xbox version. It's got it's got your achievements, your progress. It's seamless back and forth from console. It is the Xbox version. And people say it's not the console version. It doesn't matter. That has been not a thing for a decade where Xbox meant the Xbox version of a game. Quantum Break was the Xbox version of the game when you bought it on the Windows or whatever they called it back in 2016.
Danny Passion, thank you for the 2. You didn't have to do that. I would have read it. He said he meant the PC handheld. For Microsoft. Okay. He said Microsoft getting into the PC handheld area. But you know what?
We'll push that further.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, so Cold, one thing I would love to see, I don't know if they're going to do it or not, is the achievements. God, I hate the stupid achievement pop-up thing that they do on the PC. It's so terrible.
I know, you and I hate it. Yeah. They need to give us, they need to bring the console achievement pop-up. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love the achievement thing, especially the diamond one. It's so good. It's
so lazy on PC. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they haven't put somebody on it.
D-Batch says all handhelds play the Xbox PC version of the games. They play the better versions of the games? That's awesome.
All handhelds play what? The PC version?
Yeah. So I'd rather play the PC version of the Xbox games.
If you're
Whatever.
playing,
It's the same
if you play
developer,
Gears
so whatever.
5 on it, you're playing the Xbox version on handheld. That's what it is. It's the Xbox PC app. Load it up on your PC if you have it on. If you own on Xbox, you have to load up the Xbox app, and you get the achievements and your friends list and everything. It's the Xbox version.
I mean,
is it the console version? No.
I'm not buying it anyway. It's not for me. Like I'm not a handheld guy, so it's not directed at me. But Hargeet may, other people out there that I know are excited for it. Zocker's excited for it. Zocker's excited for it. He likes it. So
I might trade in my current ROG because it's like worthless to me. I don't use it, so I'd rather have the Xbox One. And if it does actually play my full library at some point,
that's when you would do it, Cole. If you sold your current ROG, you'd probably get one.
Yeah, I just don't know how much. I paid $700 for that last April. I don't know how much it's worth.
Like $5. I mean, I'll pay you the $5. I might give you 10 for it, bro. But you know, we're friends, so
right, Hargeet. It's only worth like $400 maybe at the most.
Probably,
it's the the Z1 Extreme, whatever it's called.
Nerds and Other Legends with the 5 says the endpoint is not what makes it an Xbox game. The fact it came from Xbox Studio and affiliates is what makes it an Xbox game. That's true.
And if you play like what's it called? The Birds of Disaster. I can't think of it. What was the game you said you brought up? I'm sorry, I can't think of it.
Who, me or him?
Beasts of Incarnation. If you play Beasts of Incarnation,
Reincarnation,
Beasts of Reincarnation. If you play that in the future, you're playing the Game Pass version. You're playing an Xbox version of that game on PC. So yeah, it's the Play Anywhere is huge, and Xbox. I didn't think they'd be able to sustain it, but they've got 1,000 of those games, and the entire showcase was Play Anywhere titles. Which means Xbox progress back and forth, cross progression, achievements, and everything. You're not getting those lame Steve achievements, which aren't as exciting.
Danny Passion Official was saying that Steam getting into PC handheld boosted the popularity of handhelds. Now with Microsoft into it, it would be more popular. I don't know. Steam is pretty darn popular, especially among their consumers.
Yep.
Like they're well loved over there. Way more than Xbox is.
Who was it that told me that Xbox is going to start competing with Steam? I think it was Zocker. He was saying that Xbox is showing that they want to compete with Steam with their Play Anywhere initiative and what they're doing on PC. I'm like, that's a far cry. If they could, I don't think they're going to make it against Steam at all. They won't even make a dent. But if they want to coexist, they have a lot of work to do because Xbox's PC integration is pretty awful. And that's been my big concern about the Xbox Ally. And their new dashboard, like I hope it's good, but they can't even fix some of the simplest things on the app. And Hargy and I were talking about how the game bar on PC, you have to turn it on twice to get it to work properly every time. And getting in a party chat on PC, good luck.
Yes, Sith Thor with the 2. Happy Father's Day to you, awesome gaming dads. Right back at you, Sith. Right back at you, man. Thank you for reminding me. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Father's Day weekend, I should say. Make sure you're being taken care of.
Cursory check. It's about $265 to trade in your ROG Ally, the original.
Oh, $265.
Yeah. So I don't know if they'll have a trade-up program or anything like that, but you know, expect
that's
around
awful.
that, like $250. So.
Yikes.
So. D-Batch says, I asked him what's his biggest gripe with this situation. He says it's nothing new, but the Xbox button. It's a handheld PC just like the rest. Just new UI that'll come to the other handhelds.
It's nothing new. All right, whatever.
We'll see, right? I mean, I think.
New, but it's nothing new. It's just got a screen and controllers on it, just like everything else. I guess that go for it.
The PS6
nothing new.
Is nothing new.
Just another PC with components in it. It's nothing new. I don't know. Whatever.
It's still got that. It's still going to have all that stuff integrated into it before any other handheld has it. I would guess. I don't know. I don't know how far in advance the UI they would get that UI and whatever they're doing there that they said would come down to the ROG. I don't know what the gap will be there. I don't know. It might be day and date. Who knows?
It's not day and date. I know it's not day and date. It's going to be some delta, 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, I don't know, whatever it is. It's going to be some delta. They will have some like exclusivity of that interface for a little while.
Yeah. So for a little while, it's an Xbox. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo. D-batch. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, D. I don't know. I don't call it an Xbox. Call it a ROG Ally with Xbox integration. That's what I call it. That's just me. Web Dave,
there's going to be other things that are going to be different, right? Is because like the update process is going to be very, streamlined on this ROG device because it's an Xbox, so it's going to feel like an Xbox update process. Don't expect that when you bring it to your homebrew desktop, right? Because they can't control what you put in there. So these are the things you have to trade off, right? So it is still going to feel like an Xbox. That's the beauty of this.
Web Dave says, "Thank you for the 2, Web Dave." He says, "If sold it as sold it as owned by Colt starts a bidding war."
Oh, selling my ROG Ally. Yeah.
ROG Ally,
if it's sold by Colt,
I made the mistake.
Gotcha. It's owned by Colt Eastwood. Hey D, do you want a used ROG Ally from Colt Eastwood? He'll sign it for you, D.
Yeah, signed by Colt Eastwood. It takes like $9 off of the price.
No, that would be something. That'd be something. Signed by Colt Eastwood. That's $100. That's $100 right there.
That's $100 off of it. Yeah.
No.
I made the mistake of sharing on social media that I was selling something on eBay, and a bunch of trolls went in and bid on it and didn't want to buy it. You know, just to be a jerk. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
God, I'm tired, guys. I'm ready to take a nap. I'm old. Yeah. Anyways, this was a great show. It was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Colt, thank you for joining us. You made this 2 and almost 20 minutes just go by really fast. And I appreciate you. Let everybody know where they can find you, though.
You can find me at Colt Eastwood on YouTube, where I create videos. I'm working on a really, really big one. I was actually recording half of the voiceover for it before the show started. It's really, really big. It's gonna be really
I
cool.
already know what it is, and I'm excited for it, people. Get ready for this next video. It's going to be really good. It's going to be shelling for Xbox. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's a great video coming up by the Colt Eastwood. And if you know his pedigree when it comes to editing and stuff, this one's going to be a really good one. I'm excited for it. Truly, Colt. I think it's going to be
it'll be some high quality stuff for sure.
Your last video was
so
really
you can
good,
find me
the
there. What's that?
Your last video was really good, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you. Xbox is getting bigger and bigger. You know, like I tell people, check me out on YouTube, where, you know, the past 9 months, Xbox has kind of like put the hurt on people in more ways than one, but things are bigger than ever. Like things are going well. The brand's getting big and all the games they're putting out. It's been a lot of excitement when I thought it was going to go the other direction. So yeah, we're covering a ton of Xbox stuff, and there's never a shortness of stuff to be excited about. And the handheld's just one of those things like, hey, are you interested in this? And it's got a lot of people buzzing and talking about it. So it's been good.
Got a lot of people calling me out for it, and I don't even talk about it. No, I'm just kidding. It's one person. Anyways, Hargeet, let everybody know where they can find you, my friend.
We got another super chat, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and I'll get to it after you let everybody know where you can go. We can.
Yeah, so I'll be on with Web Dave tomorrow, 7 p.m. US Eastern. Check that out, Web Dave's channel. And then back with Boom on Wednesday. So check that out. Yeah, and then we'll be putting up some of the content from this fan fest, right? So we did record everything. We didn't put everything up. My channel and Ainsley's channel,
I was looking for it.
Has the pre-show. If you want to see the pre-show, that's there. So Hargeet21, go there if you want to check that out. We will get the rest of the content up there at some point, so you'll be able to see all the stuff that we did afterwards. It was a nice sort of panel with Jason Ronald and Aaron talking to the fans as well. We'll have that up there, and then a lot of community talking, you know, as far as what they thought and how they feel about FanFest, stuff like that. There was Aaron does his Greenie and Friends. We did a whole segment with that as well, so that'll be up there. So yeah, check all that out. We'll eventually get all that up there. Fan reactions, we have all that recorded. I'm sure there's plenty of people who recorded with their phone and put that up as well, but we have it all recorded as well. So we'll put all that up there at some point. So check that out. Again, if you don't already know, my book, Emergence, shop.shiny.us, check it out. And yeah, we'll see each other. I see all of you next week.
For sure. We had a lot of fun this week. Phase 23 BKNY with the last super chat. 1999, he says, every time Microsoft sneezes, they are changing the gaming industry, according to the Xbox fans.
That's true, isn't it, Hargy?
That's a little of an exaggeration there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, right? So I suppose everybody is trying to change the industry at some point, right? Also, the fans are changing the industry. And I think Xbox does a better job of recognizing where their fans are going than the others do. But that's, it's up to them to figure that out. We'll see.
I mean,
PlayStation's changing too, by the way. They are. So
yeah, and what are they becoming like?
They seem to be 5 years behind whatever Xbox does. That's just seemingly like that's what they do.
Bingo.
They basically just follow suit with whatever Xbox does. But we'll see. Like, I think Microsoft is positioning themselves for the next generations where they don't care about this whole lockdown box thing. They just want to be able to pick up whatever device they're on and play their game, which is why the Portal did well, because it's like, yeah, I want to be able to just take that in the next room and play, even though the stupid console is stuck on that TV, right? That's exactly what their mindset is. I just want to pick up and play, right? I don't care if I'm at my grandma's or if I'm at my house or it doesn't matter. I just want to play. Right, and that is the mindset, and Xbox is like, sure, why not, right? I don't care where you are. Let's just engage wherever you want to be. That's a cool thing. I think that's good, and I think PlayStation's slowly but surely they're getting begrudgingly getting.
What did somebody at Xbox tell you? You don't have to say who said it when we were talking today, Fonz, about games. Xbox putting their games on other platforms being a big concern.
Oh, they literally said. Let me get this right, because I gotta know what the sentence was exactly. It was like I can't say it verbatim, but they did use this expletive. They said, "Who fucking cares? As long as you get to play the games, who cares?" That's what they said. Yeah. Amongst many people. It wasn't just to me. And I agree with him. Like, I believe that too. It's all about the games, people. Relax with the whole console war, especially in 2025. It's dead. It's been dead for a couple of years. Who gives a shit? At this point, it's all about the games. That's why it's crazy to me that people are even arguing about a fucking handheld. It's got an Xbox logo. Yeah. Deal with it. Mm-hmm. They can play a PlayStation game. Deal with it. It doesn't matter. It's ridiculous.
I would love to have you come out to LA next year and we can all hang out and talk about games.
Yeah. PlayStation really guys too. Come out.
Most people just want to play games, and I bet you're just as fun talking to about, with game, about the gaming world.
Yep.
If you just come out. Like, we're all people, right? And we all enjoy gaming. So come on out. Let's meet. Let's have dinner together. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a gaming community out there. It's not just about Xbox. It's amazing. Every year, I've only been there twice now, but I'm going every year that I can. Like, I'm doing it because it is so much fun. Love talking games with everybody out there. I don't care what platform they're a part of, as long as they're just good people. And it's amazing. D-Batch, you should come, man. It's so fun, bro. Yeah, D-Batch said it's done. Xbox bowed out. Yeah, exactly. They bowed out of that console, sales race. They're done with it. But look at where they're at. They're making more money. They did the smart thing for them. They did what they had to do. And it's funny to me because I just see eventually PlayStation's following that suit. I mean, right now they're chasing trends, trying to find that one big gas game, but good luck to them on that. That's going to be hard. Face says he's down to join a podcast one day. Yeah, sure. I'll take your, your takes and everything on the show. Hear what you got to say. That's fine. You could do that. Just, be respectful. That's all. Yeah. And I'm not saying you haven't been. You've been pretty respectful. But yeah, you need to come out to LA. It's a lot of fun. Now, with that said,
we got to see Shuhei Yoshida. We got to see Mark Cerny, right? So I don't know if you saw the pictures with King. Like, he was right there. We looked like we were taking pictures of Mark Cerny and
yeah. And
Shuhei,
you know what?
Right?
You know why you don't see any pictures of Mark Cerny with Hargeet? Because he was doing this to him the whole time, just standing back, just doing this, giving him one of these.
Not at all.
I saw it. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
think
He
they've
didn't
done
do
a
it.
lot of
He
good
didn't do
things.
it.
I don't do that kind of thing.
No,
And I
he
don't like to do
He's respectful.
so.
No, everybody's respectful out there. That's the thing. You get a lot of people sometimes going, "Oh, I know what I would say to that guy if I got in his face. If I saw him, I'd walk up to him and tell him this and that." No, you're not doing any of that shit. You're not doing any of that shit. You know why? Because the vibes there, the vibes are just positive. Super freaking positive. And you're not in that mindset to argue with anybody. Even if you see somebody you've been beefing with online, you're going to walk up to that person and joke about it and then have dinner and make a new friend. That's how it happens out there. It's so freaking good. I love it. I freaking love it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. This has been a very long episode, and I apologize to everybody who likes the short and sweet ones. But yeah. Next week, it might be. Who knows? We'll see what the news is like. Until then, everyone, as usual, game on.